Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Please say hi as you're jumping on. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Marcia. How are you guys doing? Don't mind me. I'm just putting my stamps on blocks. Hope you guys are all doing good. Hello, Kim. Kim Martini, have you been on before? I think I recognize that name. Am I crazy? I know I have a Martini on my list, so I'm trying to remember if it's you or not. So please let us know. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. We have some fun stuff today. We're going to be doing cards and a scrapbook page, of course. For those of you that purchased the kit, of course, you'll want to grab that. For those of you that did not, and you want to be able to make this stuff, you can still get the PDF from me. So let me know if that's of interest to you. I am currently getting stamps ready. So if you have multiple blocks like I do, that is something you can do. You can get them prepped. That is up to you. So I'm just getting some of these stamps that we're going to be using on blocks. And for those of you that are doing this kit along with me, you can also grab your inks and stuff that you're going to be needing. And I will point out all the stamps that you're going to need. So we're going to need several stamps for this. Hope everyone is having a great day. Hello, Simone. Hello, Jeffrey. It's been a while. Okay, I was going to say, your name looked familiar, but I have such a terrible memory when it comes to names. I'm great with faces, bad with names. That I was like, maybe I'm nuts, maybe. So it's good to know that I'm not. So welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. As you're jumping on, please say hi and let me know what is in your cup. I'm having my hot herbal tea and some local honey, and it looks like it may have spilt a little bit, so let me clean that up real quick. Liquid on tables where you're doing art and paper stuff is bad, right? Okay. Okay. So, welcome to everybody. Hey, Marcia, how are you? Okay. So today we are doing the Cake Day class. Super excited to do this with you guys. If you've never been on my channel before, or in particular, if you've never been on live with us before, please say hi and let us know that you're new, because we would love to welcome you. We have a very fun, welcoming group here, and we would like to say hi and welcome you. So let us know if you're new, and of course where you're from. That would be great too if you're willing to share that. And for those of you that are new, hi, I'm Jeri Mobley, also known as Shameless Stamper. If you're not new, welcome back. So glad to see you guys. Also, by the way, if you're new, just so you know, I'm on Facebook Live 2 to 4 days a week. I'm on every Saturday and Sunday, with the exception of tomorrow, because, you know, I'm going to be doing something tomorrow. So that happens on occasion. But normally I'm on every Saturday and Sunday. And then most Fridays and Tuesdays, I also make an appearance. Always at 2 p.m. Central Time for all 4 of those days. On the weekends, I do longer videos. For instance, like my monthly class and my monthly club. Those are two longer style videos that do lots of projects at once. I also do other kinds of videos, just teaching techniques, teaching craft organizing. We do cards, scrapbook layouts, and 3D projects here. We do kits. I mean, so many things. So you can come and join us for lots of creative inspiration. You can do interactive stuff with me, like my mystery stamping and all the things, right? So if you'd like to get some great inspiration, I hope you'll join us live. Even if you can't join live though, you can always watch replays. Here on Facebook now, they only keep those replays for 30 days. And then I do try to post those to YouTube, and I also repost them back on Facebook so that you can try to find them that way. It's easier to find it on YouTube after that. But you can, of course, do it that way too. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Martha, Renee. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so you can, of course, join us for any of those videos live or on replay. If you'd like to know when my lives are going to be, you can go to my events tab, and all of my upcoming lives are posted there. Also, you can get my calendar, which is totally free. All you have to do is sign up for my email list. I promise to never inundate you with email. Don't worry. It's not like a trick or anything, okay? I'm actually terrible at sending emails. So they really only go out for important stuff. But if you would like that, you can get that calendar from me as well. Just text me your email and I'll be happy to add you to that list. I have a cat hair on my desk, always. It never fails. Okay, so that said, let's get started with this. Hey, Kathy, how are you? You're behind. I'm always behind. I'm so behind right now. It's insane. Welcome, Sue. Welcome, Jennifer. So good to see everybody on today. Make sure, whether you're new or not, that you're commenting throughout the video, whether you're watching live or not. I do drawings at the end of my videos for free product, and your comments are entries. So the more you comment, the more entries you get. Also, I do one live and one later. So even if you're watching the replay, you can still be a part of that here on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry right now, I don't have a way to do drawings for that, but we'll get there one day, okay? All right, so let's get started with this. For those of you that are doing this class along with me, you're gonna wanna make sure to have your stamp set ready to go. You can use different sentiments than I do. For instance, this happy birthday, if you wanna do congrats, you can do that. So don't feel restricted to this stamp set as far as sentiments go. You can even use sentiments from other stamp sets if you prefer. But if you're going to do it exactly the way I did it, I'm going to be using the Happy Cake Day. I'm going to use Make a Wish. I'm going to use Happy Birthday. And I'm going to use Let's Celebrate as far as the words go. Okay. Then for the rest of the images, the only other images that I'm not using, other than this yay over here and the congrats, which are the two sentiments, I'm not using the burst. I'm not using the little dots, I don't think. I don't remember that I'm using, yeah, I don't think I'm using those. And I'm not using this candle, okay? But all of the rest of these we're gonna use, all right? So if you have enough blocks to put your stamps on them ahead of time, that's always a great idea. If not, you don't have to. Also, this Happy Cake Day, I actually cut into 3 parts. Don't worry about cutting your stamps. It doesn't hurt them, you guys, and they can always go back together. The thing is, just make sure that you're cutting between the letters, which there is enough space for you to do that, especially if you have a nice fine pair of snips. That shouldn't be a problem. So just give those a cut and you'll be able to make this super cute multicolored thing that is on top of each other instead of in one straight line. Okay? All right, so let's see, what else do I need to tell you? Oh, of course, you're going to want to have your inks handy. We are going to be using these 5 inks: Cherry Cobbler, Darling Duckling, Early Espresso, Flirty Flamingo, and Pecan Pie. So have those handy. We're also going to be using some blends. I've got any brown that you think you have that is close to the chocolate color is fine. But I'm actually going to be using the dark from our natural colors, which is the number 100. So this is the darkest of our, 10? Yeah, 10 natural colors. So if you have that, that's a great idea. We're also going to use Lemon Lolly, but only the light. And we're going to use Flirty Flamingo, again, only the light. So you don't really have to have the dark ones handy, just these 3 markers are what's important. Okay. Also, you might want to have handy, if you have it, the Early Espresso Stampin' Write marker. If you do not have this, another option is a blender pen. So I will show both ways. That way you can do it in whichever way works for you. I'm also going to be using some daubers, or show you a way to do that for some of the different things. So I'm going to be using daubers for some of the inks we're using as well. Anything else I need to tell you? I think that's it. I hope. Okay. For those of you that don't have the die set, I do want to show it to you just so you can see it. This is an amazing die set. So it has the cake die that you can actually turn into a shaped card like this one. Or of course you can cut it and use it as card fronts. And there are so many dies in this set. It's amazing. I didn't use all of them in the card making, but I used a good portion of them. I think the only ones I didn't use are the Starburst, which cuts this out. The candles here, I use these candles, but not these candles, which cut that candle out. And then the little bitty stars, I didn't end up using those either, but I think I used all the rest of the dies. So we're going to get to play with the vast majority of this bundle of products. So if you like the bundle and you were just watching this to see if you're going to like it, this will be a great way for you to see that. Also, if you are not familiar with how I do my videos for my classes and club, I do my 4 cards or whatever projects I'm doing first. I will then do announcements and our comment drawing for the live comments, and then I'll do the layout after that. So we will be doing this, whoops, I grabbed the wrong thing. We'll be doing this adorable layout after that. And that way, if you are not here for the layouts, you don't have to stick around if you don't want to. You can, I'm not going to kick you out, but you don't have to, okay? All right, I think that's all of the kind of info stuff I need to give you. So let's get started with this. What do you say? All right, so we are doing these super cute cake cards today, and I never tried that either. I'm afraid I would mess it up. Wait, what? Oh, cutting your stamps. It's not hard. It is not hard at all. In fact, I can try to find, yeah. Here, let's play with this one for just a second. You don't need to cut this one for this. This is the Let's Celebrate. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to get close to the camera so you guys can get a really good view. So I'm going to stand up here. Can you guys see this? How right here between the letters, there's plenty of space. I hope you guys can see that. Well, no, maybe it's better clear. Can you see that really well? Okay. So I'm just going to take my thin snips. You don't want to use thick scissors on this, guys. Use something narrow. Something you use for fussy cutting is best. And then I'm just going to go in here. In this case, I can just do a straight snip. Sometimes you need to do other things, but I'm just going to cut it. Look, it didn't cry. It didn't scream. It didn't cry. It's okay. So you can very easily do that. And then now I can cut... Oops, now I can stamp these totally separate, like in 2 different colors, or I can stamp them so that they get to be one on top of the other. But I can also then put it right back on my block the way that it was, simply by putting it right up next to that so that it's still straight. And now I'm going to be able to stamp that just as it originally came. So it's not a big deal. I promise they'll live. They're not harmed. Just cut between the words. Okay, I hope you guys could see that well enough. The cake really looks good. Yes, it looks yummy. I know. Okay, hey Lisa. Let's see. I'm gonna be hitting the road after this video. How about that? So I hope you guys are more comfortable with it. I definitely think you should give it a try. They do not cry out when you cut them. You're lying, Jeffrey. They don't. I know, because I just did it on camera. You're just trying to make us feel bad. Yes, it is nerve-wracking at first. I have to tell you, I started stamping back in the days when you had the the red rubber stamps that you actually had to cut out the image of your stamp from the rubber it was processed on and then add it to the block, and it was a wood block. So you had to cut all that rubber anyway. So I feel like I got used to doing that. And so then when it was, hey, let's cut this apart, it didn't feel that different to me. I think we've gotten so used to just getting our stamps like this and we don't have to cut anything anymore that we forget that we can actually do it. So you're fine. I promise it's not going to hurt your stamps. Give them a snip. Okay. You're welcome. I'm so glad I could help you with that, Sue. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening closely enough, Jeffrey. Well, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, so Kim, yes, you know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Exactly. You're braver when you have to do that. When you have to cut all the, so if you guys are just, you know, if you don't remember those days, you had to do it all the time. So you're just used to it. Okay. So there are some people on here that remember those days. That is hilarious. Awesome. Okay, let's get started. I'm sorry about that, guys. All right, so for those of you that are watching this later as a replay, you're going, okay, when's she going to shut up and start showing the stuff? I apologize for that. Okay, let's get going with this. What do we say? All right, so our first card. Now, you can stamp on your envelope. I am going to show you a couple of options for your envelopes. In particular, I want to point out the stamping issue. So here is an envelope that I stamped on instead. Now I was just practicing, so it's not done. Like I don't have a candle on there, any of that kind of stuff. But here's the issue with the stamps. The stamps make this top part, and they make, oh, you know what? Unless you're going to be stamping the stamps on this, you're actually not going to need this one at all. I forgot about that. We don't need this stamp. I was thinking we did, but we don't. So you can put that one away. But then you have the stamp that, hold on, let me move that. Okay. You have the stamp that does like the icing sprinkles or whatever. Okay. So you've got that. Then this part is your like tier layers, right? So you have the different layers in there. The thing is, there's not a stamp for this. Okay. You could feasibly do this, but it looks a little weird because it's like these striations. Doesn't quite look right. So if you want to make the cake stamped rather than on the actual cutout image, you can very easily do that by simply taking your ruler and adding a straight edge on this side. So all you have to do is use either this, like whatever color you're doing it. In this case, I'm using the early espresso, and make a line. Or you could use this with some ink, and I'll show you that in a little bit as well. So yes, we're reminiscing. It was time consuming, wasn't it, Kim? Yes, I spent so much time cutting and mounting my stamps, and then those blocks took up so much room. It was so nice when we switched to clear, right? Plus you can see through them, which is so nice as well. It's definitely evolved. Stamping has gotten amazing. It's so much easier than it used to be. Welcome everybody that's jumped on since the beginning. Thank you. If I didn't get a chance to say hi directly to you, hey Ann, hey Phyllis, I do appreciate you guys being here. Okay, so hello Sandra. Okay, did I miss anybody? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Okay, let me know if I missed you and I'll say hi. So Kathleen, did I say hi to you, sweetie? I don't know if I did. Hi, Kathleen. Okay. So that is how you can finish off your cake if you want to stamp it only. Okay, so I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. I'm not doing this with any of my envelopes, but I just wanted to make sure that you had that option if you want to. Okay, moving on. All right, so this is our first card. And as you can see, I added paper to my envelope instead. Sorry, this is the wrong envelope. This is not our first card. I am getting myself super confused here. I got these flip-flopped somehow. There we go. There's our first card. Don't ask me how I just did that. I was like, wait, that's not the right one. This one. Okay, so I use the same paper that I used in the background of the card to coordinate those together. And so super easy for you guys to do. We're going to get to the opening of our stuff now. So if you've never done my classes or clubs, they come like this. You do get a PDF in here, plus I email you a PDF of this as well. So you have instructions on how to make all of these card kits for yourself if you want to duplicate it. So that is in there. It's a 3-page document. The first page has like all the things I used to make the kits, and the second and third page have the recipes on them. Okay. So in here also, all of these cards are in order already with everything in them. So if you'll just keep them together, you'll see that the envelopes already have everything in it. They're already in order. Just keep it like this and you won't lose anything. All right. And then in here, I'm going to grab a little tray or bowl or something to pop all my little bits into, just so I don't lose anything. Sometimes we have really tiny pieces and they're easy to lose. This just keeps everything contained so you don't lose anything important. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' mat because we're going to do some stamping right off the bat. Out of here, we're going to grab everything. If you are going to stamp on your envelope, this is a great time to do it. We also need this piece. Ooh, I do need to cut something first before I stamp. We need this piece. We need this piece. We need this piece. I am making 2 piles for a reason. This one I'm going to stamp on, but this I'm going to do something to also. If you want to stamp anything on the insert, this is the time to do that. And this is your insert piece right here. So I'm going to just set that aside with the other 3 pieces. I do need to cut some things, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece actually. Okay. And I need to cut this piece. So this piece is 4 by 6, I believe. Yes. And we're just going to cut this down to 5 1/4. Nope. Yes. 5 1/4. And that is going to leave a strip for my envelope. So we'll get back to that in a minute. And this I'll set aside now for the card. Okay. The other thing we need to cut is this cake front piece. Because this is part of that folding piece, it's got this little section over here from the other side that needs to be cut off. So just stick your little score line right in the groove. I'm actually going to go just a smidgen past that so that my score line is on this right side dark brown spot of so it's just this side of the groove. Yes, there's a reason for that. Trust me. Okay, so just a side of the groove, and then I'm going to cut. So this is scrap. We don't need it. All right, we're going to stamp on that though. You guys ready? Here we go. All right, catching while in a meeting. Oh, hey Ruthie, how are you doing? Hey Kathy. Welcome everybody. I forgot Dad. Your dad is sitting there with you? Is that what you're saying, Kathleen? If so, hi Dad. Okay. And Mozart. I don't want to forget Mozart. All right. So we've got our cake piece, and this is confusing. What way does it go? It goes this way. So this part that has the angle cut on it like this is the bottom of our cake. The top is where this curve is, just like this. And then you've got the 2 flats on either side. So that's how you keep everything straight. You want this little kind of piece like this. That's at the bottom. All right. Oh, that's cool. Well, hello, Dad. I'm glad you're here with us. Okay. I'm also going to grab a scratch piece of paper if I can. Come on, paper. I just, any junk mail you have is fine. I'm going to use a pretty pristine piece of computer paper so y'all don't have to look at my junk mail. How's that? Just something you can stamp on and protect your surface with. Okay, so we've got this cake, and we are going to stamp on it to create the layers. So, and I'm going to do my layers a little differently than I did this original. So I'm just going to pull this in to show you. We're actually going to do our layers similar to this. So that is, I ended up doing this card first, and then I changed how I like the layers. The point is you can do it either way. So however you want to do it is fine. You can make these layers wider and add 2 layers of striations and have nice thick layers all the way around. Or you can do it this way where it's like kind of mousse in the middle I kind of liked that look better. And so this is where I ended up when it was all said and done. Either way is fine. And you can do as many layers however you want to do them in any way. So just feel free to change it up. Also on this one, I did the cake layer with pecan pie ink. On this one, I went ahead and did it with early espresso. Either is fine. I think on this one here, I'm going to do it pecan just so you can see a little bit of a difference. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put my cake on here where it's supposed to be. My icing where it's supposed to be. I want to put it right up against that and then right here. And you can do, be really specific and take a pencil and just kind of mark that so you make sure to get past it, or you can just do what I'm going to do, which I'm going to show you here. Okay. So we're going to take we need a couple of different things for these layers. We need these 2 flat bars here. We need the little, it kind of looks like sprinkles, but it's not exactly, though you can use it as sprinkles. I think this is just kind of meant to look like the cake layer. And then this kind of looks like the chocolate mousse layer. It's the striations, right? So I'm going to use that as well. All right. So we're going to start with early espresso for this. All right. I'm going to start with the mousse layer. To do that, I need to make my tiers first. So I'm going to start with this line, this double line. Whoops. Okay, there we go. And we're going to add that, but I want to add it kind of close to the bottom, and I want it to be parallel to this line. Okay. I'm so glad I didn't have ink on my stamp when I did that. All right, so I'm going to bring it down here, and I'm going to do it just off the edge of my piece. I'm putting the line parallel to the line of the cake, and then I'm going to just line this up again with the previous lines. Yes, I'm going past where I need to go. This is going to get covered. It doesn't matter. It's going to be fine. Okay. I just left a ghost mark. I'm sure we won't see it because of the way the rest of it works, but just to be on the safe side, be careful when you're getting ink. I get a little excited sometimes and I get too much ink going. Don't get it on these little corners because you'll end up with ghost marks like that. Okay. Be gentle. Remember, just kiss your stamp to your ink pad. I'm talking to myself, not y'all. Okay. Now, this time we want to leave a gap. Okay. Basically about the same size as this gap, or you could go a little thicker if you want to. I'm going to, and for this one, see, you can see here, I did almost even layers. For this, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I just want a gap big enough for one set of striations. So I'm going to add that and again extend my line. If it's not perfect, it's going to be okay. Okay, one more time. Try to keep those lines parallel. As best you can. Just like that. Done. Okay? All right. So now I'm throwing things. Okay. It is a thing. I throw things all the time. Okay. Wouldn't be fun if I wasn't throwing things. All right. Then I'm going to take my striations for my mousse. Talking dad to see. Oh. Okay. All right, so then we're going to add our little striations. And I like to kind of flip this back and forth so that I get different looks on, and also I hang it off in different places so it always lines up just a little bit differently so that every layer is different, okay? Yes, you do want to go off the side. It gives a great look. And I'm going to do one last bit up here at the top, like so. Okay, so there's our layers, our mousse layer. Okay, then we're going to, you can either stick with this ink or you can change to pecan pie. So let me show you the pecan pie version. This is the version with the early espresso for this layer, but I'm going to go ahead and switch back to pecan pie, which is the layer of paper that we have here in that color. So it's color on color. I'm going to take the little, I don't know what to call this layer. I call it the cake layer. So in my mind, this is the flour layer that kind of has little speckles. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the mousse layer, but I'm just going to add this. And again, I try to do it a little different where I space things and I flip it around and things like that as well. Okay, let's do this one about here. Just makes it look different if it's in a different spot on your stamp. And honestly, this side doesn't matter that much because it's going to be covered by this. Okay, so we're just trying to get this part to look the way we want it to. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so once you've done that, the last thing I want to do with stamping for this ink, no, sorry, I need the other one, not this one. Shoot, sorry. I'm done with this ink. I need my early espresso again, is the actual sprinkles that I'm putting on my icing. You don't have to do this part. You could leave it off, but I like the little sprinkles on the side. I think it's super cute. So it's not really important that I get this up here at all. I really only need to worry about this bottom part. So you don't even have to ink the whole stamp. You can just like do this side if you want to. Okay. And we're going to ink up the icing. Now, if you are doing something where this is going to show, then you want to go ahead and do the sprinkles on the whole thing. But I'm doing just this part because I'm going to add a layer of like ganache style icing on top that has dripped down the side. So that's what this is. This is the same piece, just like this, except we then took this little drip die and then cut the bottom of this piece off of this. So this is exactly the same piece essentially with the drip cut off. Okay. All right. So for this piece, oh, we have a couple other things we need to stamp. I just remembered. I got ahead of myself. I get so excited with this cake. It's so cute, right? Okay, hold on. Before we get to that, I'm going to grab out of my little box a couple of things. We need we need one of these little dollops in the early espresso. We need one of these little flags. We need 2 of these little scallop icing pieces because we're going to stamp on those. And then we need 2 of these pieces. They kind of look like a dumpling. They're not. They're the inside of your macaron, however you say it. Apparently they're both correct, by the way. And then we're also going to need our actual outside parts of our macaron or macaron. Okay. So we have that. Oh, and last thing we need is one of these gold candles. Don't forget that. All right. I think that's everything for this one. Okay. So, this is done. This I am going to real quickly add to with my 100 dark. If you want to use some other brown, that's fine. Just go for the darkest brown you have probably to get the mousse color. You can also, I tried doing here, I used my dauber to add color. You can do that as well. It's up to you how you choose to do that. So I'm just going to add more to my mousse layer, and by adding a little bit of this, it looks significantly darker than it is until it dries, and then you're like, oh, that's great. Okay. And again, you don't have to go all the way to the left side because that's going to be covered. Make sure you're past this little mark here and you're good. So I'm just filling in my mousse layer with some added color. If you don't have blends, you could use a marker. That works too. It's totally up to you. Okay, so that's what we end up with that one. So those 2 pieces are ready. We're going to stamp on these 2. You can do either early espresso or pecan pie for this. So since I did early espresso on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and do pecan pie just so you guys can see a difference. They don't have to all be the same. It can be your choice. This will give you a little bit of an idea of what it could look like if you want to change up what I did. So we're using the little scallop icing piece now, and we're just going to stamp this. Oh, C's Candy is a place. Okay. I didn't know that was a place. I was like, what are you saying? You're going where? All right. So we're going to add that. Now, it looks significantly darker right now. It will lighten up as it dries. So we've got both of those done. I'll set those here. Now we are going to stamp with our pecan pie on this. Either the congrats or happy birthday. It is up to you. I'm going to use happy birthday because I need lots of birthday cards. So I'm going to do pecan pie. You can do a color. You could choose to do like Flirty Flamingo. You could do the early espresso. It doesn't matter, you guys. Just pick one of the colors in the card that you like the best and use that for your happy birthday. All right, the last thing I'm going to do with the pecan pie is I'm going to grab my dauber. So I do need both my daubers for early espresso and pecan pie. Can you use one dauber for both? Yes, I would do everything in your projects that you need to do that's pecan pie first, and then you could do the early espresso after. If you need to wash a dauber, of course you'll have to do that in steps as well. I like to have one for every color so that they're super cheap, and that way I just add a little label to them and I can use them as needed. Okay, so I'm going to do the pecan pie part, which is this right here, and you can see I've got my little scratch area, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color. So it looks like, the thing about baking is that, you guys know this, it's not a flat color. It just isn't. And so this looks so much more real if you add a little bit of oven toasting type look to it. And so that's all I'm going for. It's just a little bit of extra color. It will dry lighter than it looks right now, but I'm just trying to get those edges in particular. You can even take this little macaroon, and you see how it does that and has a little, so I just get like this edge, this front edge a little bit extra. Can y'all see that? So just get, I didn't get enough on this one. Just get a little bit extra there. So it kind of looks like a toasted bit. Okay. So that's the pecan pie. Then I'm going to grab my early espresso dauber. So I've got my early espresso dauber, and I'm going to make this piece and this piece darker than they are now. So they look darker than this. So it almost looks like a third color of brown paper, but it's technically not. It's just ink on, it's color on color. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this to make it darker. You can make this as dark as you want, adding this color onto it. Oops. So great. So you can see now the difference that creates. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Let's add a little bit more right there. Okay. So that piece is done. I'm going to do the same thing to my little dollop of icing on top. Whoops. I'm just like assuming it's basically a similar thing to what that's made out of. Okay, and then these two macaroon pieces, the only part that's important is this like ruffled side. This part just gets glued down inside. So I'm just going to add a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. I just kind of want to get the edge of that with this as well. I didn't even add any extra ink. Okay, so let's put our pieces together now. So I'm going to grab, let's see. You need chocolate now. You're like, yummy. I need chocolate. I feel ya. I always need chocolate. What are we saying? It's like, it's an everyday thing, right? Always. Okay. So I'm going to start with these little macaroons here. And these are super easy to do. I am going to take this part of my macaroon. I'm going to grab the ruffled edge with my tweezers, and I'm going to add on the top of this piece, just in this little area right here, this little bump at the top, so the top of your dumpling, if I can get this to work, a little bit of glue. So I put it like a dollop there, and then I just spread it out a little bit. See that? Okay. Then I'm going to take my macaroon, if I can get it. I'm going to open it up because it's got that little slit, and I'm just going to pop this in, and it slides right in there, and it won't go too far, so you don't have to worry about that because it catches right there. And then that makes your macaroon. Now, you don't have to do anything other than this, really, to your macaroon. However, if you want to, you could add a little bit of glue right here. And I mean, can y'all see what I'm doing? A little bit. Sorry, I forget sometimes that I'm on camera. Just a teeny tiny bit of glue. Don't go crazy. On the top of that rim, and then fold it down. So it's just going to stick then. See that? That's what it looks like. And bam, you have your little macaroon. Isn't that cute? All right, so let's do the same thing to this one. So you'll get to see it again. So I'm just going to grab the ruffled edge on the top of my macaroon. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here, and I just kind of spread it around. Okay, I'm going to pop this in here just like this so that it is, sorry for the hiccup, even in there. Okay, then I'm going to bend that down, and I'm going to add just a teeny tiny, I mean little itty bitty bit of glue to that kind of top edge of this bottom rim. And I'll flip that down, and there you have it. You have your macaroon. So there's our two little macaroons ready to go. Okay, let's do the cake part. So here's our cake slice. I'm going to add some adhesive here. You can use your green glue, that's fine. I'm just gonna quickly do this. And then it's kind of hard to get adhesive up here, so I kind of go a little ways, and then I just throw on a little bit of glue here at the edge because it's just the way, you know, it's too small. And then I'm gonna add this. It's most important that it covers the top line. You want it to be in line with the top of your cake. If this is showing right here, guys, that's okay. It is not the end of the world because it's going to get covered by your little scallop of icing, okay? So that's what you're going for right there. We're going to do the same thing with this next layer of icing, which is going to go on top of that. So again, I add where I can. I'm out. Oh, goodness. And you know what? This has been back ordered for a while now. I cannot buy more. I had like 10 of these in my stash, and I think I'm about to use my last one. So I'm kind of bummed. I've been trying to replace these for ages because I go through so much. And yeah, this is my last one, you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do. They need to come back in stock really bad. All right, so we'll just pop in a refill here. Maybe I should just use my green glue, right? Probably should. Okay. So I like to add this, but if you want to do green glue the whole way, you can certainly do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, most of the time I'm just squeezing a little dot on and then moving it around. Again, I'm going to do these little drips, just very little glue. It doesn't need much. I mean, we're talking seriously thin layer. Okay. And then I'm going to add this right on top of this previous layer. Try to get that lined up just like that. Okay, so there's our cake so far. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, then we're going to add our icing. So you can see this is dried now. I'm going to show you the difference. So whether you choose pecan or early espresso is completely up to you. They both look good. This just looks like more of a milk chocolate or something, and this is more of a rich dark chocolate. So you kind of get both going with however you choose to do it. So we're going to add this on now, and I'm just going to add that with either type of glue. Sorry for the hiccups. Dark or milk? Renee says, here's the great debate, dark or milk? Which is funny since I just said that. Martha says, dark, less sugar. Sandy Evans said, yes. I agree with you, Sandy. Yes. It's chocolate. I'm good. Either way. I like both. Yes, I do prefer the dark for the less sugar effect, but there's certain things that just, you know, the milk chocolate's right for. So it just kind of depends. I like them both though. I do. Sometimes it's also about my mood. Yeah? All right, so there's our 2 little scallops of yummy icing. We're also going to take our little dollop. Don't add adhesive on the whole thing. You only want to add adhesive at the base, so like the bottom half. And then we're just going to pop this kind of right behind that little icing that we did, the scallop, like that. Okay. Now, when it comes to your candle, you can do this behind here so that it's right behind your dollop, or you can do it on the top behind the dollop, or over here. If you're going to do it over here, you're probably going to want to cut this a little bit shorter. I felt like it was too tall for the card. Do you have to? No. You can do it however you wish. All right, so I'm going to wait to do that here until just a minute from now. So we've got those pieces ready to go. Now we're going to assemble our card. So I am going to grab my other pieces from over here, and we're going to start by folding our card base and burnishing. And now I kind of want to eat my card base because I'm associating it with chocolate. It is a great chocolate color, by the way. I'm just kidding, y'all. Okay, and then we have our insert. By the way, again, if you want to stamp on your insert, by all means, you can do that. There's a great there's a lot of stamps in here. One of the things you can do is something similar to what I did with this envelope, and that is to use your cake layer to add a ribbon of little what kind of looks like a cake layer, or it kind of looks like sprinkles. And so you could do that if you want to. It's up to you. But you could also do just a sparkle or a candle. You guys, the sky's the limit. You choose what you want to do. Okay. I'm going to keep it simple today. I use inserts for a reason because I like the framed look on the inside of my card. So when I say no card should be naked on the inside and no envelope should be naked, it doesn't always mean that I'm going to stamp on this. But by doing this, it just makes it an extra layer. It's not just a single layer of paper. So I just kind of like that look. Okay. All right. Then we have our card front. I'm going to set this aside for a minute because we have to do something to this. We're going to add this beautiful doily. You can see this is pink on one side. You may have a red one. It doesn't matter because we're going to use the white side of this. So these doilies are available online right now. They're awesome. And I totally love them. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this over to the side. We want it to be basically where these 2 humps are basically in the center of the card and even maybe about 1/8 away from the edge up to 3/16. Not quite 1/4 of an inch, right? So about here. Does that make sense? And that is where we want to cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just take my pencil. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because I want to make sure I get it in the right spot. So I'm just going to take this. I'm making sure this is totally even. And then I'm just going to mark from the back my line. Yeah? You guys see that? All right. Then I'm going to take, technically this is the front, right? But it's the back because we're using the white side. So then I'm going to take my line, I'm going to pop that right in my trough and slice. Don't get rid of this. We're going to be using this later if we are doing the scrapbook page. However, I've got another thing you can do with it if you aren't doing the scrapbook page. This is a choice, but you can take it and pop it in your card like this so that it makes like a little doily on the inside, or you could put it over here and let it bend with the card. If you glue it in like that, it looks really cute too. However, if you're doing the layout, keep it. You're going to need it. Okay. So I'm going to keep that little piece. All right. So we're going to take this and add it on to here. By the way, if you're like me, I hate it when I get that little cut edge there on the thing because it was upside down. So I just want to add it so that it is even on here. What did I do with my, oh, here it is. Wait. You're praying for Jeffrey because he likes dark chocolate? Hold on. Oh, because you have a blister on your heel. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm reading his comment. Yes, if you guys want to pray for Jeffrey, please do. Yowzas. Oh my goodness, Jeffrey. I will be praying for you for sure. Okay, so we're going to add, oops, what am I doing? Move this back over here. Okay, so we're going to add glue to the pink side. So I'm just going to grab this, flip it over. We're going to add some glue to this. I know, Michelle, I was teasing. I figured out it was... I'm sorry. I know I have a very dry sense of humor sometimes, and I sound like I'm totally being serious, but it is a joke. Okay, so it was just your comment came right after. Dark. No, I figured there was something else. I'm a mess. I know. It's okay. All right, so I love giggling with you guys. Y'all enjoy giggling. I love it. Okay. Laughter is a great medicine. Here we go. So I'm going to pop this on here. I'm going to try to get it even. Excuse me, my throat. From top to bottom. Basically, this is going to be about the same distance here, here, and here. That's kind of basically where I cut that. Whoops, don't slide. Okay. So just glue that down. You get this beautiful little white doily on top of the pink. I love these doilies. They're so cute. Not only is the colored side, which is red and pink, there's two different ones, absolutely adorable. By the way, if you, I don't know, let me show you, because I don't know, I think everybody has one of each, but you can see there's the red. So there's two large colors and two of the small. So you have red and pink in the small, red and pink in the large, and they're just adorable. These are called the Lovely Doilies, and I just think they're super cute. Okay, and then of course they're white on the back. All right, so we're gonna pop this onto our card base. I know, this makes me hungry too. I get it. It's like you start thinking, oh, I need chocolate and I need cake and mousse and ganache and whatever other yummy thing. Macarons. Okay, so there we go. That's it. So that's our little place setting. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so now we're going to add our cake. We want to leave a little bit of room here for our macarons. It doesn't take a lot. I'm just going to, kind of set them there to go, okay, I need about that much room. All right. Now, you do want to make sure that your cake these lines are parallel to the side. If you do that, it's going to be sitting correctly. So I'm going to put it in the middle of my card, right to left. But I do want to make sure that it's a little further down than up, because I need to have room for my candle and my flag. Okay, so as you can see here, this little heart is going to be about halfway showing, and that is about perfect. But I do also need to move it over so that it is centered left to right. So about like that. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay, there you go. All right, then our little macarons are going to go down here. So I'm just going to pop some adhesive, either your green glue or this, and I'll put one like that. Oops. And one like that. So we've got our little macarons down here. So cute. All right, we also have our flag, which is going to go behind the cake. However, I'm going to put it on dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop a couple of dimensionals on the back of this so that it sticks up. And then I very often will just kind of shove my little lip chiseler in there just so that it kind of opens that back up. And then I'm just going to pop this behind here. And I'm going to try to keep it in the designer series paper, but worst case scenario, just make sure it stays on the card. Like you don't want it to be sticking out, right? So that's there. Then you decide what you want to do with your candle. Do you want it back behind this? No, because of the little flag. So in this case, I'm going to put it over here. And again, you can choose for it to be like normal size, tall, like this. Let me show you. Whoops. full candle size, or it's shoved down in the cake a little bit more. It's kind of the feeling I have about it. And it's a little bit shorter. It's up to you. So cut your candle to whatever height you like. I'm gonna cut it just a little bit. I'm gonna go up here to this full piece and just cut that off. So it's a little bit shorter. And then we want it to be, let me show you here. So we want it to be, so this one's a little longer than this one. The thing is, you can lay it flat, but because you've got 3 layers of cardstock right here, it's a little bit high. So what I ended up doing was I put a little bit of dimensional back behind here. You can use a mini if you'd like. I'm just going to use a little tiny piece because the mini doesn't fit. You'd have to cut it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a little piece of the side. It's like a little tiny piece because it's narrow. Just like that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the base where it's going to connect with my, just a teeny tiny dot of glue where it's going to connect with my cake. And so I'm going to pop this on here just like this, straight up and down, hopefully. Ta-da! Cute, right? Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, now we're also going to add this to our envelope. So on the left hand side, I'm gonna pop this on my envelope. I want to make sure I get adhesive all the way around this piece so that unless you're hand delivering it, then it doesn't matter. But if you're gonna set this in the mail, you want to make sure there's no adhesive showing. So I'm gonna make sure all my adhesive is around the edge, but also you want to make sure that it's stuck really well to that envelope and it can't catch any of its edges in the machine. So I just add that extra glue. Okay, so there's our envelope. Man, I got hiccups. Okay, then we're gonna add our cute little embellishments. So in here you have some of these adorable, these are the strawberry, strawberry slush and pretty in pink. What are they called? I can't think of what they're called right now. Hold on. Strawberry slush and pretty in pink. Oh, just gems. Okay. But they also have clear in them. They just left that out of the title. So we have our strawberry slush ones and the clear for this kit. So I'm going to add the strawberry slush ones here. And I am going to use 3 on this card. So I'm going to use 1 of each size and then 1 more. So I'm going to do like a large and a small. Every once in a while, I get one that's a little bit wonky. This one's wonky. I'm going to fix it. There we go. Oh, where'd it go? I pulled off the glue. That's what I did. I pulled off the glue. Okay, I'm going to add a little dot of glue. Don't pull off your glue. That doesn't help. All right. And then 1 more, either size, up here. So I'm just adding 3 of these over here to the side. Just stick those up there because we're going to need them again. Okay. And there you have your first card done. Super cute, right? Love it. Okay, so here's the differences. Let me kind of show you this with these cakes here. So I'm going to show you this other one too. Okay. So all of these cakes are some combination of the 2 browns. You guys can do it however you like. And that's what I want to show you is I love that you can play around with this. You could even add a white dollop instead of a brown dollop if you wanted to. I mean, you guys, the sky's the limit with this set. I really, really love it. So play around with your layers, play around with your coloring, whatever looks the yummiest to you. I have to admit, I think this is my favorite out of all 3 of these. I like more of the dark colors, but they're all pretty, right? So there you go. Okay. So have fun with it. Make your cakes your own. Okay. Number 2 is our Happy Cake Day Neapolitan cake. So we're going to get this one made. Okay. This is our second kit here. Yes, a very yummy card for sure. Okay. Once again, we are going to put paper on our envelope. You guys have seen how to do that, so I'm just going to cut this real quick, again, down to 5 1/4, and we'll put that 3/4 of an inch that's left here on our envelope later. Okay, so that's ready to go. Also, oops, before I get rid of this, let's go ahead and cut this piece just like we did before. So just slide this a little past center, and we're going to cut off this little extra edge. Just like that. Okay. So this one is, we're making this on white. We still have a piece of white icing. You could add sprinkles to this. I did consider adding chocolate sprinkles to this, but I ended up not doing it. So yes, it's another layer. And this is great because it hides anything that goes past here, but it's also like icing. I think of this layer as like the fondant style of icing. And then this layer is like your drip icing that kind of goes down the side, right? So super cute. And then of course we have our 2 layers for our sentiment. So we're going to stamp on that one. You can make this darker if you want to, like we did before, but as you can see, I didn't do that for this one. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it as is. And so I'm going to set these pieces here all aside. Woo! Or drop them on the floor. That works too. No, it doesn't. Okay. Don't drop them on the floor. All right, so we're going to be stamping on these pieces. Oh, goodness. Oh, by the way, real quick, I just want to let you guys know, you are missing from this kit the ribbon. So you can make the whole thing, except don't put the card front on here yet, and don't add your circle. Stamp it, get it ready, all the things, and then I will, unless you have this ribbon or something else you'd like to use. I'm going to be sending this as soon as it comes in. It was back ordered. It's one of those things. And when it comes in, I'll send that to you. But just don't attach this to your card base, so you can add that layer, and don't attach this because it goes on top. That's all you got to do. You can get the rest of it totally ready to go. And I would probably leave off my embellishments until I had this attached as well. It'll help with attaching it to the actual card. So it's up to you guys, but there you go. All right. So in fact, I need to grab, I have a piece of paper, a piece of ribbon, I think. Do I? Or did I make that one? I think I have one. I can't remember now. I had an extra kit that I had ready. Yes, okay. I have that little last piece of ribbon. Okay. That is the last of mine. All right. So you can just see how to do it when you're done. All right, so let's go ahead and get the stamping part done. So the way that I did this, as you can see, is in 3 colors. It's a Neapolitan style cake. So we're going to add our layers in 3 sections. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I usually don't start with my darkest color, but because it's at the bottom and I need to have that layer look, I'm going to. So we're going to use, oh man, my hiccups, our early espresso. And I am going to grab my caked layer lines, and I'm going to add my layer of cake. Again, I'm going to double stamp. I need to clean this off because I'm going to use it with another color now. Make sure it's very clean so you don't contaminate any of your colors. We're going to use this again in a minute, but I got to grab my Flirty Flamingo next. And we're going to stamp. You could do your cake layer with that ink if you want to before you move on. I'm just going to do all of these first. Oops, I grabbed the wrong color. No, not Flirty Flamingo. I'm losing my mind. Darling Duckling is next. Okay. Do I still? Yes, the PDF is always available after my class closes. You can get my PDFs anytime you want. In fact, right now, if you wanted a PDF from 3 years ago, yes, I still have those available. So just text me and let me know, and I'm happy to get that to you. Okay, there's a small fee, but it's not a lot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pop this on here about the same distance as we did on the last card. yes, I do realize this doesn't look as vanilla as you would normally think of, but I wanted the color to match the back. So in my mind, this is vanilla. Take it or leave it. If you want to use something else like basic beige on this, you certainly could, but I just wanted the colors to kind of go together. So that's what I went with. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my Flirty Flamingo. Again, I've already cleaned this off, I think. Yep. Did I? I don't remember. All right. And we're going to do the same thing with the Flirty Flamingo. So this is our strawberry layer. Like so. Okay. Once you've done that, you're going to add your cake detail in. So you could, oops, let's go ahead and start with this one since it's out. Okay, so we're going to add our, let me make sure I clean that off. I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case, we're going to add our pink. You could also do this with the striations instead. Just add a few layers of striations in there. You can do it any way you like. So there's that. Yellow. Super easy. Just get all of that stamped in there. Last is our early espresso here. You could also do this with pecan pie, this layer, but again, I try not to add too many colors. I've already got early espresso going, so that's what I'm sticking with. I feel like it looks better when you kind of keep your colors restrained to not too many, let's put it that way. Because you want to duplicate colors when you're making art. You don't want it to all be a single color on the card if you can avoid that. Okay, so now that we have all of our layers done, we're also going to stamp, oops, hold on. Well, I need to do one more thing to that. We're also going to stamp our happy cake day. So I am going to start with the early espresso. I know that seems weird, but we're going to start with cake right in the middle of our sentiment. So I'm going to start with cake, and I'm going to do cake right in the middle. Like so. Then I'm going to switch back to my Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to do the happy and day. So happy on above. Try to get it lined up the same though as your cake. Happy and day. Ta-da! Okay. Also, with our pink, we're going to grab from our little pile of goodies here. We have 2 of those pink icings for the scallop icing. If I can get it. You also need one of the gold candles. Okay, so we're going to use that in a minute. And you need one of the white dollops. All right, so here's my scallop icing. I'm just going to stamp that in strawberry. Kind of what I was going for on the top is you've got your chocolate, like drip style icing. You've got this, and then you've got the vanilla kind of going there. So you've got cake in all flavors and icing in all flavors, which was kind of fun. You could also say that this is lemon if you wanted to. I don't know. Would that be good? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. With the chocolate, I'm not sure if lemon would... It would be good with strawberry, but I'm not sure if that would be good with strawberry and lemon. Like, I mean, strawberry and chocolate. Doesn't that seem like too many flavors? I don't know. Not sure. Okay. So we've got that stamping done. All right. So now we're going to put this together. I need my cake pieces so I can put that together. So we're going to start by adding this layer. Is everyone just quiet, or do I need to reload my page? Because I don't have any comments for the last 7 minutes. Y'all usually talk the whole time. So if somebody wants to say hi, I can see if it's being weird with me or not. All right, so I want to line up my top piece, make sure that that ends up over here. If the bottom is showing, it's not the end of the world. I don't want, I do like this to be even though, so let me, hold on. I did it at an angle. I'm fixing it. I hate that. Okay, let's try this. Jeez, come here. It's being stubborn. I'm gonna put this at the top. Like that. There we go, that's straighter. All right. Just like that, okay? Now, I can see through this a little bit right now because there's light behind it, but once you get it on a card, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so then we're gonna add our chocolate icing on top of that. Yeah, it's not. I'm gonna have to reload. Y'all bear with me. I hate that. I don't know why that's happening with Facebook. I really don't. Or if it's my internet, because we've had some issues with the internet of late. I don't know what they're doing. If they're messing with it. I really don't know. I'm tired of it though. Okay. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue here to the tip and our drips. Oh, you finally saw the chiseler in action just now? Wow. Yeah, that was a small little detail, but yes, it really helps you lift up anything that you've glued down that you need to adjust. It's super helpful. I love the thing, I tell you what. Okay. I couldn't survive without it. I really don't. I really, really love it. Okay, so I'm going to add some adhesive to my two little icings here. You might notice I try to make sure that none of the glue is like poking out from the edges. We're going to add this along here. So this one I'm going to hide the bottom of the cake with, and then this one I just do parallel to that, right at that corner of the icing. So try to get it parallel, oops, to the bottom one, okay? All right, then we're going to pop our little dollop on top. Remember, just add adhesive to the base of the dollop, not like this, the bottom half, not the top half. And we'll just pop this in here. Again, this is another thing I use my chiseler for. I'll just kind of stick it in behind this if I got it too tight, and that lets me shove my little dollop down in there too. Okay. All right, and then you've got your candle. Again, this candle we're definitely going to cut because we're doing a landscape card. So I'm also going to add this circle on top of here. Now, when you go to assemble your card, just remember, thank you, Sue, bless you. Thank you to all of you who said, did I color my layers? And you said it when I couldn't see. Well, no, I think some of you just said it. But if you said it when I couldn't see, you're amazing. And thank you for pointing that out. Because no, I didn't color my layers. It's fine. It's going to be fine. Oh my goodness. At least y'all are paying. It's not that I wasn't listening to you. It's that some of you said it before I could read it again. And then, yeah, y'all are all, there's also a lag. Okay, so here we go. Fleur de Flamingo Light for your top strawberry layer. I'm so glad you guys are paying attention because I'm not. Okay. We're just going to add the light strawberry or light Fleur de Flamingo to, I think I said strawberry, light Fleur de Flamingo to our strawberry layer. The strawberry slush is too dark because it's darker than the Fleur de Flamingo ink, so that's why I went this way. Then the light lemon lolly, we use Darling Duckling for our ink because that's what this is. But for this, I'm using light lemon lolly. So it just ends up looking better. I tried both and I liked this layer better because I think it looks a little bit more like a cream layer or a yellow cake layer or a yellow cake, vanilla cake, whatever. It's basically the same, right? And then our 100 dark. I'm just gonna try to lift that out of the way so I don't mark on it. I'm being very careful over here on the edge. I say that and then I marked it. All right. I'm so glad that you guys are paying attention. Y'all know I'm a hot mess. It's fine. Now, you don't have to color this with a darker color. If you'd like to do a lighter brown for this, I just got that on there. I'm going to have to use some alcohol. Okay, if you want to do a lighter brown, you can, but I think it turns out really good. On the white, it's lighter than it is on the brown, so it works out really nicely. It goes very well with our early espresso color. Okay, I think we're ready. So again, if you are, if you don't have this ribbon yourself to be able to cut a piece, then wait and put it on your card base. I'm going to set that aside, but I am going to go ahead because I have it and get mine ready. So I'm going to add my cake. I'm going to do this about 2 squares or 1/4 of an inch. I say squares because these literally are squares from the edge for this edge of my cake. And then I'm just kind of basically centering it. You could bring it down, but because I'm going to be putting the circle here, I didn't want it to cover up too much of the cake. So I'm going to do more middle than not, but you can do it further down if you like. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add this on. It does look good. It does look good uncolored too. You are right. In fact, you can make a birthday, what is it called? Birthday sprinkles cake if you want to, I think, or something like that. Anyway, you could do like multicolored type stuff. It's super cute. This set is amazing. I love it. Okay, so we're just going to add that on there. And then we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to put this across here like this. So this is, I believe, 6. This is 6.5 because I like to have 1/2 inch on either side. So I want it to go between my like ganache dripping down slash or whatever kind of icing that is. I'm not a cake. I don't make cakes. So I mean, I have, but not fancy cakes. And my scallop icing there. So right about here is where I'm looking to attach that. So I'm going to just make sure I have adhesive on the side. You could just go up the whole side if you want to, and then just put a little bit top and bottom. If you're not attaching this, don't do it yet. Facebook facing some issues since they no longer going to save. So many are moving over to YouTube. I'm not in favor. I don't like the advertisement format and comment smaller if you watch live. I know. I'm going to try to post in both places, but I've had a problem with that for years because I've been trying to do that for years. And so it's an issue. I know. So we're just going to pop that on there like that. Once you have that on there, I like to add a little more adhesive on top of my ribbon. And then you can add that to your card once you have your ribbon placed on it. If not, just don't put these parts together yet. Okay. You'll basically want to pause if you don't have the ribbon. Okay, then we're going to add some dimensionals to our sentiment. What, no bow? I didn't want to take away from the cake. You could add a bow. If you want to add a bow, by all means. But I didn't want to take away from the cake. So I don't always add a bow to my ribbons. Sometimes I add a knot. Sometimes I add nothing, like this one. So it just kind of depends on what you're feeling. All right, so we're going to add our Happy Cake Day right about here. Make sure your ribbon is in the right spot. Pop that on there. Then you also have your candle, and you can decide where exactly you want to put this. I'm going to be putting mine about the same place I did before, so I need to trim it. So I just kind of eyeball this. I am going to let it go up over my yellow just to keep more of the candle. So I'm going to do it right about halfway down this 3rd full scallop. And just to make sure I'm doing it straight, I'm going to stick this one in here. Okay. When it was closer to the bottom, I don't mind doing it with my snips, but I do want to make sure it's straight. So this time I'm not going to worry about the, what am I saying? I'm not going to worry about the, or you don't have to worry about putting a piece of your, what am I trying to say? Dimensional under there if you don't want to, but you can. So it's up to you. So if you do decide to do that, again, you want just a really thin little piece from your side of your dimensionals, because even a small dimensional is too big. You're gonna have to cut that in half. I just used a little thin strip from the side, just a little piece, and then add a little bit of glue to this bottom edge that's gonna overlap the cake. Don't do too much. Pay for ad-free YouTube and love it. Yes, you can do that too. Whoops, I almost put that on my sentiment. Losing my brain. All right, and we're gonna pop that on there just like that. Ta-da! Stay. There we go. Okay, then we have our pink embellishments here. We're gonna use the last 5 of these. It's $13 a month for that. I've never looked into it. I only do a little bit. No, that's not true. Maybe I should do it. I don't know. I do more on YouTube than I think, because we have a couple of things we follow that we watch together as a family that are on YouTube, and I do hate the ads, so it might be worth it, at least for a little while we're watching this thing. But I don't do the movie subscription. Does it include the movie subscription, or is that just the ad-free part? Is that all one thing, or are they 2 separate things, I guess is what I'm asking. I used to could cast from Facebook, but apparently that's a thing of the past also. No, there is a way that you can cast to both Facebook and YouTube, but I have a problem with my YouTube on my phone. I can't seem to log into my business page, which makes no sense at all, because it obviously exists. I'm able to do it from my computer, but it won't let me log in on my phone, and that's where I record. So it's a problem. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way around it, but right now I've been not able to figure that out. Okay, so we're going to add this to make sure your envelope's going the right way to the left side of your envelope, and we're done. Isn't that second card adorable? I love it. So cute. Okay. Moving on to our third card, which is this cute little folded little cake piece. I love this, you guys. I think this is so adorable, which is kind of what they intended the dies for. But we're going to do this one together. And yes, this fits in a normal envelope, just like that. Just pop it in there. You think just the ad-free is $13. So how much is it if you want like the movie part of it, or whatever it is that they have like actual videos on, or movies on there? I'll have to look into it. I'm just curious. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Have I missed any questions or comments that are important that I need to see? If not, it's okay. But if there's something you've said that I've missed, I definitely want to know it. So please let me know. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to this guy. So here is our third kit. We have the little cake card piece and our other bigger pieces in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and just add this piece onto our envelope to get that out of the way. Hiccups. Oh my gosh. I went ahead and added a piece of this pool party because that was the color that, even though this paper itself is not on the card, it just helps it coordinate. It looks super cute, right? Okay. So there's that piece right there. We're also going to cut this piece. This time I am going to cut right on that line. I'm going to try not to Well, I take it back. I am gonna cut a little past it just like I have been doing. Let's see. Okay. Also, I'm going to take this piece and we're going to cut a little bit off. So what I determined is that when I'm trying to line up all these pieces, after I bend the card and everything, it didn't want to line up just perfectly. This little bit of white was sticking out. So in order to make all that kind of work better, I am going to put the cake up here to the top, and that's going to put your line straight. We want to cut a sliver off of this. So if you can see here, I'm going to cover up. If you're using one of these trimmers, it works perfectly. If not, just like a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to cover up the brown here. So that will be a 1/16 of an inch, and I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to use the bottom of my trimmer instead. Whoops. So just cover up the brown and cut off a 1/16 of an inch. Just make sure you're lined up, right, with the bottom of your trimmer. Did I have that straight? I think so. Okay, and then just kind of check and see if that looks like it's going to be right. Okay, then the other thing is you may find that you also see a little bit of this bottom. This part's not going to matter as much because there's going to be icing right here, but this part will. So you can either trim this now or you can wait and see how it ends up. But I just went ahead and took that bottom long edge and again, just trimmed off a smidgen. And again on this side. Just about a 1/16 of an inch will do. Okay, so I just cut these little slivers off of that, and that makes sure that you don't see any white poking around the brown part. Okay, so this is our card base, essentially. And I'm just gonna make sure everything is nice and smooth. So there's our card base, ready to go. Set that aside. We are going to stamp this so much like the first card, it's not even funny. So we're going to be blending on this piece. We are going to stamp on here. We're also going to stamp on our sentiment piece. We're going to be cutting this piece. We're going to stamp on here. We're going to stamp on these two little scallop pieces. We also have 2 blue candles. These are Pool Party that we're going to be using on this. I'm just going to set those up there. You have 4 of these little sparkles. There's 2 of each style. So you're going to have 2 of the big one and 2 of the skinny one, and those are all going to be used in a minute. Oops, I'm losing one of my hearts. Okay. We also have our happy birthday that we need to stamp on, that little sentiment. And we're also going to blend on the dollop. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay, the rest of that's for the last card. All right, so let's do these stamping pieces first. Let's do this one first. Okay, so we're going to start with our cake just as we've done before. And again, any way you want to do this, I'm going to do it the way I did it here, but you guys can choose to do it a different way if you like. So using our early espresso, I'm going to start with the layer piece. A sliver of cake is just not enough. You want the whole cake? Half the cake, a quarter of the cake. I don't know. Oh, okay, Katie. Your question was answered by Kathy. What was your question? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I missed it. But thank you, Kathy, for answering the question. She's good at that. I appreciate it. I regret not purchasing the kit when oh, I'm sorry. You know what, Angela? I have a part. Okay. Angela, if you will text me, I might be able to help you out with that. So just give me a text, and I'll explain it via text, but just give me a text and I'll let you know. Okay. Netflix 24 a month. Oh yes, Netflix, if you're doing the no ads version, has gotten expensive. We were talking the other day about dropping it. Even though we watch a bunch of stuff on Netflix, I'm just like, that one has gotten crazy expensive. I'm like, they're really proud of their subscription. Okay. So I'm just gonna go through just like we've done twice already now, and add my layers. Y'all should be old hats at this point. Old hats, mature hats. We shouldn't call ourselves old. We're mature hats. We're experienced hats. How about that? Experienced hats. You're experienced hats by now at this. How is that experienced? I don't know. Oh, shoot. Okay. We're going to add our ganache layer here. That's what I call it, at least. Look, I did it again. See what happens? That's a ghost layer. Be careful. It's not going to matter because it's probably going to get covered up by my little kind of sprinkly cake layer thing, but I need to be more careful. Okay. I get going, I get excited, and I start smacking the darn thing into my stamp pad. No, don't do that. And make sure you do this top part here above that cake layer. Okay. You can also, by the way, just in case, you can add a little extra up here. Sometimes a little bit of that shows. And so if you want to add a little bit more, you can. So there's that. Also, you could choose to make your cake layer be the bottom, which does actually make a little more sense. I just like the ganache part. So crazy. I thought about that after. I went, really? It should be cake and then the, yeah, anyway, it's fine. Either way is fine. Okay, last we need to do the little sprinkle type look. It's not sprinkles. It's meant to look like a cake layer, that in my mind. It maybe not. I don't know. Does anybody else know for sure? Because I don't know. Okay, that's fine, Angela. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try to situate one of these little flecks right on top of that spot. There we go. Perfect. That I made a mistake on. Now you can't see my boo-boo. I love clear stamps. Oh my gosh. Back in the day when it was a wood block and red stamps, you were like, you know, leaning over to the side trying to see where you were going and nothing ever lined up perfect. It's so much better now. Okay, let's color our ganache first before we move on. I don't want to forget. Because why am I putting that away? I'm not done with it. Because I was thinking of this, that's why. So I'm going to color my ganache real quick. Or mousse, or whatever it is that we're thinking this is. I'm probably using the wrong term. Does anybody want to correct me? Because I won't mind. This is not my area of expertise. I just know it's yummy. That's all that matters to me. It's so yummy. Love those chocolate cakes, right? Okay. Cameras with film. Wait, what? Oh, yes. Like back in the day when we had to actually use film camera. I'm following you. I'm totally following you now. Okay. All right, let's do our sprinkles on this one. And again, you don't need to do the whole piece. You can just do basically the wide side because you're not going to see the rest anyway. So just going to do that. Whoop, like so. Then I'm going to stamp on here the Let's Celebrate. Where did I put my Let's Celebrate? It's over here. The ganache is on the bottom. Wait, the ganache on the bottom is just holding the cake on the plate. There you go. Yes, exactly, Angela. That's what I meant to do. How did you know? Oh, I put my stamp on here cockeyed. Hold on. I was trying to do it on camera so you guys could see and I didn't get it on there flat. Hold on, give me a minute. This is the one I cut earlier that I was messing with and I put it on there wrong. Okay, now it's right. Well, let's try that again. Okay, so we've got let's celebrate. I'm going to pop that right in the middle. Could you use something else? Anything you want. Anything you want. Then on the little flag, I'm going to use pecan pie to do the happy birthday. But before we get to that, we're going to stamp these two. Again, choose whether or not you want to do pecan pie or you want to do your early espresso. I like the early espresso for whatever reason. So that's what I'm going to go with. But if you want it to be pecan pie, go for it. Okay. And then, oops, hold on, let me get that completely clean there. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my pecan pie to do my happy birthday. Or congrats if you wanted to do that. That works too. So I need more birthday cards than you could possibly imagine because I send them to all of you. If you're one of my customers, you buy things from me, you get cards from me. Though I'm behind on it. A bunch of you are getting belated birthday cards right now because I am so far behind and I don't normally have that problem. Plus all my family and all the things that the rest of us do, right? So, okay, we're also going to do our blending. So we've got these two pieces that we're going to blend on with our dauber. So I do need that early espresso ink again. Oops. And oh, I came across my old camera, by the way, the other day, and it was so funny. I was just like, oh my gosh, there's like still film in here. Do you have any idea how old that is? I don't even know if it'll come out, but I'm going to try to get it developed and see what's still in there. I was like, oh my gosh. I kind of want to do like some fun artistic shots with whatever's left in the camera just to play around with it since it's in there. Okay, so there's that, and then we'll also do the dollop. Ah. Oh, love it. Okay. Now, we also need to cut this. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to add this on here. Costco's chocolate cake with cream in the middle. So I don't get the Costco one. I've never had that one, but Sam's has an amazing bakery, and we used to get, they have a round, we used to call it our daddy's cake because it's not what it's called, but it's a round cake that's layers of chocolate with this type of icing on the top, like all the different, it's like chocolate on chocolate with chocolate chips in it. It's, oh my gosh, and it was so amazing with the yummy mousse-like stuff in the middle, and oh, we loved it. I don't think they're making that one anymore, but it was so, so good. So I will have to check. We'll have to check at Costco. Somebody's saying that Costco has one. So we might look and see. We usually do that for Dad's birthday. All right. If you have a corner rounder, you can totally round this with a corner rounder. Or you can just take your snips and go along the edge and just stay basically in that same curve. It's totally up to you. So I used a corner rounder, but you don't have to. You can just use your snips. So I'm going to do that for you right now. So this is how I did that. If you want to just kind of stay about the same distance as you go around the corner. Go slow. Don't be in a hurry. Just like that. Okay. And yes, my husband was just taking out the trash if you could hear it. Those bags are loud, aren't they? Okay. So that's ready to go. They have a vanilla one too. Okay. All right. Then for our candles, we're going to take our little, our big bursts like this. And I am going to take my candle. I'm going to add a little bit of glue at the top here on the back. On the back of my candle at the top. I don't want much glue. I want to just spread it around. Can you guys see that? I barely have any glue on there. I'm just spreading it around. And I'm going to add that to the center of my circle. So it almost makes like a halo around my candle. I don't want them to be in the exact same position. I want these little bursts to be in a different position. So I'm going to make sure that I rotate the other one differently. But I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So just a little dot, and then I kind of move it around there on the top. And then we'll add that to the middle of that one. So you can see my little sparks are going in a different direction. Then I have this one, and this is going to go on the top of the candle. So I'm going to take this, and again, I want these positioned differently. So I'm going to decide how I want it positioned. I think I'll do this one like that. So I'm going to add a dot of glue here, and then I'm going to go down this one arm that I'm going to have attached to the candle itself. And then I'm going to do this one totally different. So let's see. Like that. So here, and then down this one little arm that's going to be on top of the candle, but it's a different arm, oops, than the other one. I just do this so that they are completely different. They don't look exactly the same. Okay. All right. I think we have all of our pieces ready. Yes, yes, we are ready. Okay. So we're going to add our cake on here first. Don't get too close to the edge because some of these edges are going to be exposed. So just be careful. I'm sorry, hiccups. Sorry. So I am going to try to line this up so that no white shows. That is my goal. And when you do that, you'll see that on some of these edges, for instance, here, you see some brown on the inside. That's okay. It doesn't matter. What's important is that you don't see any white on the front. Okay, then we're going to add this layer just like we've done with our other ones. That's not going to be any different really. So, oops, put my cap back on. Took the dogs for a walk, needed 4 layers of clothes, both for me and the dogs. It's minus 15 Fahrenheit outside. Oh my gosh, that's cold. That's cold. And you have how many inches of snow did you say? I am lining this up using my table to make sure that it's perfectly straight on top. It's okay, again, if you see something around the edge, that's not as important. We just don't want to see the white above. Okay, and then I'm going to add this layer on top. You're having a heat wave at 40 degrees. Well, I think we are at like 40. We're supposed to get up to 49 today. I don't know what we're at right now, but that was the original thing. It said it would get up to like 49. It could have changed. Honey, what's the temp? Honey? Ooh, my little dollop didn't get completely colored. Hold on. I was like, wait a minute. I fixed it. Just stick a piece of paper under there before you stick it back down. Okay, there we go. That drip was not completely covered. Okay, then we're going to add our scallops. When I put my scallops on, I just make sure they're going in the same way. It doesn't really matter. Either way, you can do it. But I personally like them going down, but that's just me. Whether or not that's correct, I couldn't tell you. I'm just saying, I don't know. Is there a correct way? I don't know that either. So I'm going to put this one on the bottom. You'll notice I didn't put any adhesive here because I knew that was going to stick out. Sometimes I get a little too much on this end. You know, decide whether or not that matters to you. Well, Anne is in Sweden. So it's really cold there. Nowhere near as cold as it is here. I mean, the other way around. Nowhere, it's not near as cold here as it is there. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, and then we're going to do just like we did before. I'm going to pop my dollop here. I'm just putting adhesive on the bottom and then sticking that up under there. Okay, I'm also going to kind of make sure that doesn't actually get pressed down all the way, because I'm going to stick my candles up under that this time. So I've got my candle here. I'm going to pop one in up here on this side. And then this one, I'm going to stick down a little bit lower, just so they're not at the same height. And then I'll stick it down with those there. Also, you can add, mine's trying to pop off now, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here to help that stick, because it's got too many layers going on. Hold on. There we go. And I'll hold it down for a second. I just removed it too many times. Oh wait, what did Stacy ask? Did I miss it? Did she ask a question? We're having a heat wave. Oh, she was telling you that she's in New Hampshire also. That's what she was telling you. Okay, then with your little flag, we're gonna stick this in between the layers too. So again, this is one of those places where I love this. I can stick this in between my layer of my cake and the card base, just like that. And I can literally just poke this in here, maybe, wherever I want it to be. And I'm just gonna gently, I don't want to bend it, so I'm gonna gently shove that down in there. And I'm gonna tilt it so that I can attach the top of the flag right here at this tip. So all I'm going to do, I just get it in the right spot. It doesn't have to be at the tip. You can move it over if you want, wherever it ends up being. And I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right there. I mean, like a teeny tiny dot of glue. And I'm going to hold that down for just a second. Up in the very north of Sweden, they got -39 Fahrenheit. Oh my gosh, that's cold. That is, don't even think about going outside. Don't even think about it. Like, you're just gonna freeze. Oh my gosh, that's cold. Oh my goodness, I cannot imagine. I don't think I've ever been in that cold. I've been in the negative teens before. I don't think I've ever been below that. That's just crazy. Wearing t-shirt and sweat. Oh yeah, I know, it's funny. It feels really warm when you're used to it being colder. Okay, so we're gonna add our Let's Celebrate. So the card is straight if the lines are, if your sides are straight. So then just use that to help you line up your Let's Celebrate. You can put it in the center. You can put it wherever you want. It's totally up to you. So I'm just gonna pop this on here like that. And then we are going to add our embellishments. Did I leave the embellishments? Oh, wait, no, okay. I was like, did I put them on the last one? Yes. Okay. We're going to pop these on here. So I'm going to do a large and a small up here at the top. And then whichever you want on the bottom down here, which I'm going to do a large. Whoops. Just like that. So we've got 3 of those on there. And that just pops right into your envelope. So cute. We're going to use these 5 on the next one. Okay. Where's the ice cream, right? That would be good with this, right? Yum, yum. Okay. Schools, workplaces, etc. are not closed. In the north, where it's -39 degrees Fahrenheit, they still go to school and work. That's amazing. But you guys are used to it. Like, I mean, here, that's unheard of. That would not happen here. Not a bit. Totally not going to happen here. But if you're used to it, then yeah, absolutely. Okay. Lisa said, I would be taking a fast boat to Cancun. That is so funny. Y'all are hilarious. It's funny how we live in so many different climates, right? Okay, that was card number 3. Moving on to our red velvet cake. How many of you have been waiting for this one? I know a lot of people like red velvet. Okay, so here's our last card. red velvet, yum yum. You guys should be totally used to how to do this now, right? Before we do our card, I'm going to go ahead and just do my envelope real quick. So I'm going to take this one that we've been making our like kind of cake layers with, and my cherry cobbler. And I am going to just make a line. Let me get a clean sheet because that is just a mess, isn't it? I'm just going to make a line of this going down the side. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. But I thought it looked pretty cute. You could also do like an overlapping with the scallops. That would be cute as well. I just thought this was easier because I didn't have to worry about if I got it, if I overlapped it, like I can line it up a little easier. So I'm going to start off of the envelope, making sure this is on the left side. I meant correct side, but the left side of my envelope. And I'm just going to go straight down my envelope. Like that. Easy peasy. And there you have it. Okay. So that is done. And then we're going to, as we've been doing before, we're going to go ahead and just cut this piece of cake right here on that score line, or just past it actually. Sorry about my dog. I think I made too much noise and she thought somebody was at the door. She does that. Schools work like that. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine being outside in that. That is so cold. Okay. Now I didn't do by the way, if you guys have a little bit of a rough edge, sometimes when you use a die over and over repeatedly, you need to run it through your thing with foil instead of paper, to kind of sharpen up the edge, but it'll get those little kind of rough edges. That means you need to do that. So I've got a couple that are like that. So just file them, get those little rough edges off. It's a blade, basically, just like anything else, our dice. So, I mean, it's not a sharp blade, like it can just straight up cut you, but it works in the same principle, but just with pressure. So, yeah. A couple of these have had that. And when I make a million kits, like I do, it's hard on the dies. Well, technically Renee cuts them, so it's hard. It's just hard on the dies. Okay. To make that many at once. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fold our card base. I'm gonna do the same thing to this though that I did before, because we're putting this on a card. So it's like the card base that we did just a minute ago, but it's attached to a card back. So it's basically the same thing. So I want to do these flat edges. I'm gonna put this flat up against here. You'll notice that this side is not flat. Make sure this side is flat. So we're just gonna cut that edge. And then same thing with this side. Just like we did on the previous card. We don't want it to show. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this bottom edge. And this bottom edge. And that should be lined up well enough that we now don't have to worry about anything showing. So I'll just go ahead and burnish all my sides here. Okay, and I'll set that aside. Also, we have these two layers. These two layers will get put together, but before we do that, what we're going to do is add this to this. So I added mine so that the heart is at the top on this one, and then there's a single bubble going out to the side, and I want it centered. So this has been run through an embossing folder, and then we're adding this on top. It's a nice thin embossing folder, so it should glue just fine, but we want to make sure and center this. So what I ended up doing is I flipped this over, upside down, okay? So the red side showing, and I'm going to center it on my card. And the way I do that is I look over here at my dots and I make sure that it looks like it's in the same place. Is it in the same place or is it not? So for me, you can see this little bit of you know, red poking out here. We want to see that we're in the center. Once you know you're in the center of your card, go ahead and take that pencil and a ruler. And I'm going to mark the edge. Now this time I'm not going to cut this. You'll see in a minute. I'm just marking this. Why? Because I want to make sure I don't put glue past this line. So I'm just marking that line for the purposes of adding glue. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to hold this. Again, I'm going to stay on the right side. I'm sorry, the right side, the red side of this, and I'm going to add my glue. So I'm going to stay inside these two lines that I just created. So add your glue. You don't need a ton. We're just adding enough for it to stick to our paper. Let's do in here maybe. So just kind of go around and I do basically in the same place on each sort of consecutive layer of shapes. And you can kind of see I'm going along these hearts in a line. So I've got like a dot, 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 dot to the center. Can y'all see that? Okay. And then I'm going to come back in, flip it over, make sure I'm looking at the right place here. So this is the center part, and that tells me where I'm putting it. I want to make sure it's up and down right. I want it centered up and down and side to side. Does it have to be perfect? That's up to you. I like mine to be really straight, but it's never perfect. I mean, that's the nature of things, right? Okay, so once you've done that, then you can cut the, actually, let's just use our snips. Then you can cut the rest of this off. So I'm just going to use my snips and cut this. Now, do you want to use these little pieces? By all means, use them. You can use them on the inside of your card like we talked about before. You can add them another way. It's up to you. So I'm going to go ahead now and add this layer to my card base. Oh wait, I am going to go all the way around because this was run through an embossing folder and because I don't want anybody to try to open it there. I want it to be really obvious where the card opens, and that's the cake. All right, so there, oops. Should put a little dab of glue right there because that got cut really close to that heart. Okay, so there is our card base. Isn't that cute? Well, sort of. It's kind of the card base. It's the card back. Okay, now let's do some stamping here with our cake pieces. So this time, the only difference is I'm going to use my, what am I talking? Words. Cherry cobbler instead of early espresso on the red pieces. So we have this here, and we also have these two icing pieces that we're going to do that on. Also, we have our cake pieces that we're going to use our dauber on. You can do icing on this piece if you want, or sprinkles on this piece if you want to. I'm not this time around. Also, you can stamp on here with either early espresso or the cherry cobbler. I ended up using early espresso, and then we have our hearts and our candle. You can use one or both. It depends on what you're making this card for. Okay, I'm going to use this as a birthday card. So it's going to say make a wish, but I like the hearts because I think they're cute. So I'm going for it. Okay. So let's go ahead and add our layers just like we've done there's a little ladybug for you guys. Like we've done in the past. Okay. Oh, Stacy had to leave. Bye, Stacy. Million and one. What? Plan on me a different season. Plan on you a different season. For what? What do you mean by plan on you a different season? Did I miss something? I probably did. Okay, so we're gonna add our layers just like we've done before. It's just this time we're using cherry cobbler. I tell you what, I've gotten better at lining this up. So practice a couple times if you struggle with it before you make your cards. But it's never perfect. What am I trying to do? I'm just trying to do another layer. I don't need to do that. Okay. I do need to clean that off though. Hold on, let me get some of our Stampin' Mist. It's drying out. Okay. Then I'm going to use my ganache layer. Now the ganache layer, if you want to do the darker early espresso for it, you can. So actually I think I'll do that. I'll wait and do that here. So I'm going to do my cake layer instead. So I'm going to go for the cake part and just add those sprinkles. They're not sprinkles, but you know what I mean. They look like sprinkles. They could be sprinkles. I mean, you know, it's fine. It's just meant to make it look like flour and not a flat color. And it does do that, which is great. Okay. I just got that on here. I didn't mean to do that. I need to go to bed. Back to bed. That's it. I'm done. Okay. We're also going to stamp our little scallop icing on here, which is hopefully going to cover up my boo-boo. Y'all, I'm a hot mess. It is what it is. Okay, here we go. Yep, sure did. You can't tell. All right. Okay, that is everything I need to do with this. I'm going to grab my early espresso and add my chocolate ganache layer, whatever it is called. I don't know. I could be wrong. How many of y'all are laughing at me like, she has no idea what she's talking about? She's just spouting words. I really don't. That yummy chocolate stuff in the middle, whatever it is. I think it's ganache. I heard somebody say that once. No. Y'all know. I know you know. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm not going to put that away yet. I'm going to grab my sentiment, and you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to do Make a Wish on this with the early espresso. Right in the middle of that. There we go. All right. And then I can close this up. Oops. And I'm going to grab my dark again. No, I can't close that up. I need this. You're going to need that again. Sorry for the hiccups. I'm going to go ahead and add my yummy chocolate here. How many of you love red velvet cake? I'm just curious. Say me if you love red velvet cake. Or say a little if you only kind of like it. I mean, in my experience, most people who like chocolate like red velvet, but I'm sure there's exceptions. Okay. Ta-da! I'm going to make sure that that covers that just all the way. Yeah, I'm going to add just a little bit more right there. Okay. All right, and then we got to blend on these two. I forgot. Me? Only? Sue? Oh no, you had a dry one? Oh yeah, well that's, no cake is good if it's dry. No, absolutely not. Oh, it is good. It is so good. Yes. I think it's wonderful. If you, like I said, if you like chocolate, pretty much, yeah. But again, if it's dry, no cake is good if it's dry. So I understand you. So we're just gonna add this to this piece so it is a darker brown, and to our dollop. Whoops. Yes, I managed to get ink on me a lot when I'm doing this class. Look at that. It's fine. Who cares? Oh yeah, dry cake. Look, if I'm gonna eat something with those kind of calories that I know are not good for me, it's gonna be good. If it's dry, I don't want it. No, thank you. Oh, so the ones I've had have been very chocolatey. I'm sure there are different kinds. Like, it depends on, you know what I mean? Like, anytime you make a cake, you can make it a little different, right? So yeah, I can see how that would be an issue. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add our layers just like we did before. So I'm gonna pop these on here. It is, well, no, it's just chocolate with, honestly, with red dyes in it. As far as I understand, I mean, obviously, I've never made a red velvet cake, but I've had them, and my understanding is it's basically just chocolate with red dyes in the mix. But I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I am, because maybe I made an assumption. I take correction just fine, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, woo! Okay, so we're also going to, ooh, don't hurt your drips. I just bent that. Oh, hold on. Let's see if I can fix it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, don't hurt your drips. Okay, so we're gonna add a little bit of glue here in the drip. And then up here. I'm correct. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've never actually made it. So whoever made the red velvet cake that was weak, I'm thinking they just didn't use a very strong chocolate. Like if they had used it's usually got more, as I understand it, it's got more dark chocolate in it than milk chocolate. And so, because it's a very rich cake. So, I mean, that's been my experience, at least. The ones I've had were amazing. So they were very chocolatey, yummy goodness. Okay, we're gonna add our 2 little scallops here. Don't put adhesive on this end, because we're actually gonna cut it off. And I know that sounds weird, but just trust me, you have to. So it's gonna happen. Whether you want to or not, we have to do it, because it won't function if you don't. So we're going to pop that on, and then we're going to pop this one on at the same angle. And I don't push that one down too hard, because remember, we got to add our dollop. Some people put multiple dollops up here. Oh, sorry for my hiccups. You can do that. I just like it with one. It's just me. But everybody can do what they want. Okay. So here's the thing. When you have this on here and you go to open it, if this is in the way of opening on the hinge, then this will get bent. So you can't leave that there. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to trim it off. Okay. So what I did is I just popped this on here like this. And I don't want to cut off my icing right here, but I want to cut off these two. So I'm just going to put it right just this barely side of the trough. And then I am going to just trim that off and trim that off real lightly. So it should work out pretty well. Worst case scenario is you can come back in with your snips if you need to, but that should be enough to do the job. All right. And so that works perfect. And then we're just going to pop that on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add adhesive all the way around my card base, my card front, essentially, that's going to go on that card base. And then I want to line up this curve. and this hinge area. So this side is what's most important. Sorry, I'm trying to see it. Oh, that's not right. Hold on. It might be easier if I opened it, but I don't want to do that. There we go. That should be right. Before I press down, I'm just going to check. That looks good. Okay. So once you have that on there, now we're going to add to this back flap, we're going to add adhesive. And again, I'm going to go all the way around because I want to make sure that it connects really well and it doesn't try to fall off the card. So I am going to, again, can't breathe, line this up with my card base. I don't want it up too high because I do know that I've got my candle that's going to go here. So it's up to you how high you end up putting it. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more than I did the last one, I think. So yeah, so this one I ended up, like it was right there below this full heart here. I'm going to bring it down further than that this time so that you can barely see the edge of the doily right there at the base. But I am centering it left to right. I've got a little piece of this that wants to pop up. I didn't have that problem before. Okay. It's probably just how I cut it. All right, and then I'm going to take my candle, and if you're going to use the candle, you don't have to. If you use this for like a Valentine's card and you don't want to put a candle on it, don't put a candle on it. That's fine. And then you can move it up center more. But if you want to put a candle on it, decide if you want your candle to be full height or if you want it to be shorter. I'm going to leave this one full height just so we can see the difference. So I'm going to, again, as I've done before, just make a little sliver. And I'm actually going to make two because I've got a lot of length on this one. So I'm going to do like 1 and 2 slivers of the side of my dimensionals there. So I'll add one up here and one right there. Just because I need it to be very thin. Now I've had somebody ask me, well, why not just use your adhesive strips? Well, they're particularly deep because they're intended for a shaker card. They're significantly deeper than these. I don't want that much depth to my dimensional. I just want a little bit because it makes up for the 3 layers of cardstock that you have there. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to the bottom here. I just put a dollop and then I'm just kind of moving it around to make sure that that's attached. All right, just like that. All right, okay, and then we have our sentiment, which I am going to put up on dimensionals. I don't understand is why add coloring because it doesn't add flavor, just red dye. Yeah, I don't know why either, to be honest. I don't know if there is something else. Yes, so you can pair it with cream cheese frosting instead of chocolate. Yes, there are 2 different ones. You can do the chocolate or you can do the cream cheese frosting, which people like different ones. Chocolate flavored cake traditionally paired with cream cheese. Oh, okay. Yes, I get what you're saying. I personally don't care for the red dye. That doesn't matter to me. But if you like red, like I had someone do it for a wedding because red's her favorite color and it was amazing. But yeah, I don't need the red dye either. Oh, okay. So this I'm going to have, if you want to put this particular, this side, particular dimensional over a little bit so that it hangs off, it's a good idea. But you can do it however you want. So I'm just going to line that up. I am making sure it is straight parallel with the top and the bottom of my card. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my hearts And I have this heart, which I am going to add just kind of tucked right behind here. And yes, that's hanging off a little bit too. And then this heart, you can either use a glue dot or this. I use a glue dot because it's just easier. So I'm just going to use a glue dot, and that one's going to go up here. And then this one, we're going to use 3 different kinds of adhesive on our heart. We're going to use a dimensional. And actually, I'm going to use a baby dimensional because I can. No. This top edge, I'm going to put glue on. So I'm going to put it over here on this side, because this other edge is going to overlap the sentiment just a tad. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue right there to the edge, to this edge of my heart. Okay. And then we'll pop this one right here. Just like that. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Okay. And then we're going to add our dimensionals, our, these, yeah, our embellishments, that word. Yeah, y'all, I'm fine. It's fine. Okay. So we're going to do a large one here and a large one here. And then we've got 3 small ones, or no, let's see. I think I did the large one. I should have done it the other way around earlier. We'll do a large one here. You can do it however you like. We're going to do, oops, a little one there, a little one down here, and lastly, a little one up here somewhere. I'll just put it right there in that heart. So we have 5 on here. So cute, right? So that is our 4th and last of the cards. Love them. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. Now, we still have the layout to do for those of you that are interested in watching that. But before we get to that, I really quickly want to do announcements and the drawing for the comments drawing. So please don't go anywhere. Stick around for that for just a second. And then if you'd like to stick around for the layout, you can do that as well. Okay? So quick announcements are, most importantly, don't miss the February card class, you guys. So cute. We are doing the Sweet Bugs. They're adorable. These are adorable. They're great for kids. They're great for adults. I would love to receive any of these cards we're going to make, by the way. I'm just telling you. So this is not like a kids only stamp set. I love cute stuff, and I'm an adult. So the cute stuff, sometimes people think, oh, well, I can't give that to a girl, you know, a friend. Yeah, you totally can. They're adorable. So these are super cute. If you want to turn them into happy birthday cards, just use a happy birthday sentiment. It doesn't have one in this, but there's tons in, I'm sure, your own collection, or if you need an option, let me know and I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. So if you'd like to get the bundle, you can save 10% on both when you buy the bundle. If you purchase it from me, and a little bit more, you can get both the cards and my scrapbook layout kit for free. If you only want this, you'll get the card kit for free. It's a great way to not have to even buy the card kit. So check that out. Okay. So yeah, you can purchase the kits, or you can get them free with a qualifying order. So here are the cards that we're going to be making. They are super cute. I'm glad you like the cake cards. I'm glad you do. So we have our little Ants Go Marching card, which I thought was super cute. I had to make myself a little, no, this is not a single die. It's 3 dies together that I made this with. And I will show you exactly how I did it with this class. So I made this cute little magnifying glass. We also have a really adorable fun fold. Isn't that great? So we have our fun fold card with our ladybug and our bee. I love the ladybug and the bee in this. Look at this one that says spread joy and has all the little guys. Yes, this is a coloring kit. Yes, you can do it too. I'm telling you right now. And then I think my favorite, because it has a sunflower on it, because I couldn't get by without doing a sunflower card with this, is this guy right here. So we're going to be making all 4 of these projects with this class, so be sure to sign up for this no later than the 14th. That means you have 4 days left if you haven't already signed up for it. And for those of you that scrapbook, you can also get the add-on scrapbook page, which turned out super cute. I did Be Happy for my title, but you guys, if you want something different, let me know and I will cut that for you. So we've even got our sunflower on here and all the things. It's so cute. All right, so that is the add-on layout. Also, I know, isn't it adorable? Don't miss bonus days. So right now, when you place an order with me, you can go to shamelessstamper.com, go to shop, anything you want to purchase on our website. When you place an order for every $50 you place in an order, you're gonna get a $5 coupon that you're gonna get to spend on free product in February. So you earn during January, you spend during February. So to earn it, you spend every $50, you get a $5 coupon. So if you do a $300 order, that's 6 coupons, right? That means you get to spend, so it's 10% essentially. You get to spend that in February. Plus, you can earn regular rewards at the same time, and you can get the rewards from me at the same time. That's a lot of rewards, you guys. So don't miss it. It's a wonderful opportunity to stock up on things that you want, get new products that just came out. Ends February 2nd, so don't miss out on this. And then in February, you'll be able to redeem all of those goodies that you earned. Also, we have the new paper pumpkin kits. If you're interested, check that out. If you're not a subscriber, text me and I will send you my link so you can sign up with me. You can also, if you're a subscriber, pick up the coordinating die sets. I collect them all. I love them. They're amazing. We have words. We have like bubble words. We have sentiment pieces, and this one does coordinate with our postage die set. It's not the same size, it's a different size, but it coordinates. And then we have some like little tulip flowers in here too. So these coordinate with all 3 boxes for the first quarter of this year. Don't miss out. They're all really cute. Today's the last day to sign up for the January box, so don't miss that. Okay. Also, if you'd like to receive my creative inspiration calendar totally for free, yes, for free, all you have to do is sign up for my email list. Text me your email and I'll be happy to add you to that list today. Yes, January's has gone out. It went out yesterday morning. I know it's late. I'm sorry. Life's been a struggle the last couple of months. We're getting back on track though. This calendar includes all of my Facebook Lives, so you know what inspiration is coming your way via live, and then all the other days have a creative prompt on them. So you can do something creative every day if you like, or you can just have it handy for when you do need some inspiration. I make them cute, so they're great to post up and look at. And they have all my Facebook Live information and my YouTube channel information and my other contact info, so you can get a hold of me when you need me. You guys are welcome to text me anytime you have a question. I will do my best to help you out. Whether you're a demonstrator or not, it doesn't matter. If I can help you, I will. If I can't, I will try to point you in the right direction. Be sure. Oh, that's funny. Okay. This stamp set was the first full suite you bought. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that is all the announcements, which means it's now time for the prize drawing. So if I can get a drum roll, I will put some goodies out here for you guys. All right, we are going to do one drawing live today, and then we will do one next week. So that means anytime you watch a live, if you're here for the live drawing, you're in that drawing, but then you're also in the replay drawing. So this one is from the 20th, and that's just because we had the Christmas break. And so we'll be doing this one, but normally a week later I do the replay drawing, and the replay drawing is everybody that did comments during the replay plus the people that were on Facebook Live. So if you're on live, you're getting in both of those drawings. And every single comment that you do on the video gets you an entry in the drawing. So the more you comment and participate, the better chances you have of winning. All right, so we are going to do these 2 drawings really quickly. So make sure you commented or you won't get a chance to be in this. All right, so thank you for the drum roll. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jeffrey, for finding a few members. They should be inside because it's cold out, so they shouldn't be outside. So there's no excuse for them not drumming for us. Fire and Ash. New Avatar, Fire and Ash, or newly released. Wait, what? Go to the movie to see. Oh. Avatar or Fire and Ash. Gotcha. I'm following you now. Yeah, December is a struggle. It is. It just is. All right. Here we go. Okay. Angela says Avatar is amazing if you can see it in the... Hey, Jennifer. If you can see it in the theater, go for it. Okay. So I'm going to pop this link into random Facebook comment picker, which is going to do my drawing for me. And I'm going to get all the comments. And oops, I've got to put out the goodies. I almost forgot. Okay, while that's drawing, we've got 3 packs of paper here that you can get. These are all retired, and I do have multiples of each. So Flowers and More, Dandy Designs, and Celebrate Everything. Every one of these is 12 sheets, so 24 different designs. And for instance, the Celebrate Everything, it's all different holidays. It's not just Christmas. Like this one is Christmas, but it's lots of different holidays. So, or not always holidays, but things you celebrate, including like birthdays and stuff. So, and then you've got like flowers and such, and these are just basically designs, patterns. So whatever you like, you can pick from those 3, or you can also get a block from me if you don't want any of the papers. You can also get the pick 4 ink spots. I know a lot of you like the ink spots, so if you choose this one, I will send you a list of all the colors I have available to choose from, and you can choose whichever 4 colors or multiples of the same color that you would like. Remember that these can be refilled with our regular refills as well. And then of course I have the little chiseler, which is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but if you ever want to purchase one, I sell them for just $2 because I buy them in bulk and pass that savings on to you. Or you can get them free in my drawing. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to hit start, and our winner for the live is Jennifer Tawana. Congratulations to Jennifer. Wait. Okay. And then I'm going to go over here to last week's video, or not last week's video, excuse me. The video from the 20th, which was the product reveal for all of the things that were released on January 6th that I had available. And so I'm going to pop that in there and get all of those comments. And I'm going to hit start. And our winner for that video is Sandra Easley. Congratulations to both Jennifer and Sandra. Oops, I put Sandra. I can spell, I swear. If both of you would pick a prize and put it in the comments, if you are not going to stick around, thank you so much for joining us live. Or if you're watching this on a replay and you're not going to stick around for the end, thanks for watching. Either way, we appreciate you being here. However, if you'd like to stick around, we're going to do the layout now that goes with this. So please join us for that if you can. And hey, Jennifer, did I not say hi to you a second ago? I thought I did. Hello. So glad that you guys were here with us, and I hope that you will join us again. By the way, just a quick reminder, I won't be here tomorrow visiting some family, but I will be back on next Friday. Let's see, am I doing a Friday next week? I can't remember. Yes, next Friday. So make sure not to miss Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week, and hopefully I'll be doing a Tip Tuesday as well. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so I hope all of you have enjoyed this so far, and if you are leaving, thank you for being here. God bless. If not, stick around with us, and we have some more fun to come. Okay, so I'm reloading my page because it stopped sending stuff, and I'm going to grab my layout real quick here because we are going to get started on that. You guys excited for the layout? All right. Okay, so this is the beautiful layout we're going to be doing. If you got a kit, it looks like this, and I'm just going to pull out all of the pieces. You always get a free paper protector or page protector from me with all of my layouts. So we are going to get started here. Okay, first of all is kind of organizing this stuff. So we are going to do some stamping. So you have your little bits and you want to go ahead and pop those in your small little container here. We are going to do a few things to some of these. So this Celebrate right here, our macaroons pieces. Sorry for the hiccups. The inside of the macaroon. Those are all going to get blended on. We're also going to stamp on the 2 pieces of our icing. So the rest of this you can set off to the side for now. And then here we're going to be doing some stuff too. So we've got the cake pieces that we've got to blend on. So we've got the blending here. And then these 2 pieces we're going to be stamping on. And then the rest of it is, ow! I just dropped that. The rest of it is just sorting. So real quickly, I want you to sort. You should have, if it didn't stay together, the 3 pieces of designer series paper that are scaled. So you have a pink, a yellow, and a blue that are scaled down. That goes on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. And then the 3 that are all 12 inches are on the right-hand side. Okay. Also on the right-hand side are all these squares. So you should have 5 of the dark brown, which is early espresso, and 4 of the light brown, which is pecan pie, and 1 of these little white ones should all be on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to set those over here for a second. Okay, and then on this side, you should have 2 pecan pie rectangles, a early espresso rectangle, and a little bit smaller pool party rectangle. Also, we do not have the ribbon for this. So I am going to point out where the ribbon goes and you can add it on after. I'm going to show you my final product. I don't even have it for myself. So I'm going to not place down the pieces that require ribbon. I'm just going to show you where they go so that you can add your ribbon once you get that, unless you have some on hand. If you have some on hand, then of course you can go ahead and finish it. So I will show you the final project because I do have it so you can see where it goes. But this stuff is going to be on the left-hand side. Okay, so before we do our stamping here, I'm just going to kind of push that out of the way. I want to go ahead and add these layers. And so the easy way to do this is I'm going to take the right-hand side page first. So the right page, and we are going to put blue at the top, then yellow, and then pink. Yes, there's a reason why I did it in this order, so I hope that you'll go ahead and do the same order. What I like to do is just get these essentially spaced out evenly so that I have about the same gap between each one of the layers, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it this way because it's just easier. I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to make sure that this gap is pretty even so that I know approximately where I'm placing them. Okay, then I'm going to start on one side. So in this case, I'm going to start on the pink. I do want to make sure this is the only directional one. So do make sure that your pink is facing the right direction, which is basically where, like this is the top in my opinion. Honestly, I guess it could go either way, but I personally like the kind of like fan look. So I'm going to place this so that it is lined up with the edge of my paper parallel. And then I'm going to move to the other side. Why? This is a trick that I do all the time. Anytime I have 3 items that I'm going to be placing, I do the 2 outside pieces like this first, and then I come back and do the middle so that if my spacing is off at all, I can at least get the spacing between the 3 items the same, and then it looks intentional. So if they're all off, it's weird. It's fine if these are the same and these 2 are different, but if they're all completely different, it looks a little odd. So I'll get those 2 on first, and then I can add this one. The only exception to that is if I'm doing like 3 dots somewhere, I start with the middle one and then evenly space the two on either side. But that's hard to do when you've got something that's spaced out this far. I can't do this middle one and get it right, so I always do the outside first. Okay. Well, at least I can't do the middle one in there. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Now that you've done that, grab your other piece of white cardstock, and we're going to put this right up against it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over to the back. And I know this is strange, but just trust me, we have to do that this time because we can't attach it to the front because our paper's going to go there. So I'm just going to add some washi tape. This has been really de-stickified. It's barely sticky. It's just sticky enough to hold these two sheets together. Then I'm going to flip it back over, and now I can add those stripes continuing on the left side so that they're all lined up. However, before we can add these 3 stripes, we need to cut, not literally, tear actually, up in an angle. So I'm going to tear from this bottom edge up at an angle, pulling towards me, just like that. And then I'm going to do this one. Like so. And then finally, let's see, I need to go a little bit stronger angle here. I went a little too narrow. Yep, like that. And then I can pick it up. I'm going to do this one. Okay, something like that. Now, I realize that this one is significantly different. It's really not going to matter because there's going to be a piece of paper here. So I'm just trying to get a basic thing. These two you're going to see, so I try to get them somewhat close together. And this one, if you want it to be a little shorter, could certainly be a little shorter. I actually do want mine a little shorter, but not by a ton. Okay, so about like that. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I just line these up with the previous page and it'll all be even. So I'm going to go ahead and just add these on, lined up with the previous page. I am noticing that my 2 sheets of cardstock are a little bit different in size, but that's okay. It'll be close enough. Okay, and we'll add this one. What DSP is this? That's a great question. It's the same as was used for the cards. So it's called Floral Impressions, I believe. Let me double check. Yep, Floral Impressions. I will. Thank you, Sue. Yeah, we're trying to see some of the family we didn't get to see over Christmas, so. Okay, so there's our stripes. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and remove our washi tape. And we're good to go. Okay, so before we finish putting these together, I want to go ahead, I just like to get those big pieces out of the way. I want to go ahead and prep all of these pieces that we need to stamp and such. So, of course I got that down in there. Okay, so the pieces that we need to stamp is what we're going to start with. Ooh, let's cut this real quick. Sorry. I always forget to do that. Miss beginning of the video. Oh, no, you know what? I don't think I said at the beginning of the video, honestly, because it's not, you know, if you had the kit, you had the kit. Otherwise, I just didn't think about it. So I don't think I commented on that. So thanks for asking. And it's fine. If you're not here at the beginning of the video, that is fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just trim off that little extra that is on my piece there. And we're going to go ahead and stamp just as we've been doing this whole time. So let's go ahead and get our chocolate ink out. No, this is our early espresso. It's now chocolate. It's no longer early espresso, it's chocolate. No. Thank you for the yummy lives, Sue said. That's hilarious. Y'all are so funny. I love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking with me. If you're here till the end, I appreciate that. Honey? Jacob?
Yeah.
Could you warm up my tea?
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds? Maybe 25? I don't know. Taste it and see. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do our layers as we've done before. Sorry, my tea got cold. That's what happens when we have a long class like this, right? Okay. I'm actually going to do this. I try not to do them all in the same exact place just because I think it looks a little bit better, but it probably doesn't matter. As long as you stay parallel, that's the most important. That's it. What am I doing? Okay. I get doing it and I forget. I'm done. I don't need to do anymore. Okay. All right. We'll do our cake layer here. Thank you. All right. Okay, once you've done your cake layer, we're gonna do, sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that off so I don't get it on anything. We're gonna do our, am I saying it right? I hope so. Nobody's corrected me that I saw, so I'm gonna keep calling it a ganache layer, whether I'm right or not, until y'all correct me. Whatever this yummy middle gooey part is. That stuff. We'll do that layer. Okay. And the last thing we need to stamp is these two little guys with our scallop. Oh, let's see if I can fix that. That'll help. I got a little tip for you on that one. Okay, so I made up a little bit of a boo-boo. I fixed it, but if you do that, you can do two things. You can use your early espresso marker, or you can use this little guy. So let me show you something. So I'm just going to take some of this blender and I'm going to grab a little bit of ink here. And then I'm just going to come in where the ink should have deposited and fill that in a little bit. I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to overdo it. But that'll kind of hide that I made a little bit of a stamping boo-boo. Okay. And then just make sure you rub any ink off of the tip. It should come out clear. Once it's coming out clear, even if it's stained, you're good to go. Okay. So those are done. I am going to go ahead and use my dark or number 100 on the ganache layer. How many of you bake cakes regularly? And do you make fancy cakes or do you just make simple cakes? The fanciest cake I've ever done was a Black Forest cherry cake with all the things, including freshly shaved chocolate curls. And that was quite I was in high school at the time. That was quite an undertaking. But, you know, some of you are probably way more used to baking cakes than me. I just don't do a ton of it. I've also did some really cool ones for my kids when they were little. If y'all know who Bob and Larry are, it's a cartoon. The VeggieTales, Bob and Larry. I made cakes. One was shaped like Larry and one was shaped like Bob, and they got icinged, you know, in the colors and everything. Oh, we have to stamp this. I forgot. Sorry. You need this again. I spaced it. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and ink up our sprinkles for the side. Oh, I really, really like having this white here because it makes it easier to see where I'm going with this. Oops. Ah, it's really being stubborn. Let go. Okay, so that piece is done. Okay, and then we need to do a little bit of blending. So we're going to grab our icing piece here. Finally back home, she says. I am just, sorry, I'm doing this off to the edge. I'm filing this because I'm trying not to get paper filing pieces everywhere. But yeah, I need to, oh shoot. Where'd the other one go? I forgot that that was on there when I did that. There it is. Fell on the floor. That was just a little bit rough. Okay, so we're going to use our dauber again that I just got ink on the whole thing because I can't hold on to stuff right now. It's been a long day. It is what it is. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's add some ink to this before I make any other mistakes. All right, so there's that piece. And where is my, did I lose it or did I, oh, I didn't grab it. The little dollop. I forgot to grab that earlier. I need to do that too. Okay. And then finally, I'm just gonna do the edge. So pulling towards of the filling for the macaron. All right. All right, then we're gonna grab our fresh, I'm sorry, not fresh freesia, Flirty Flamingo, the other FF one. And we are gonna take our Celebrate here. I'm going through the papers. And I'm going to make this an ombre Celebrate. You do not have to do this, but if you want to, it looks really cute. So I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo. Let me put these away while I'm at it. My Flirty Flamingo dauber. If I can find it. Here it is. And I am just going to add ink going from the bottom up. So the way I like to do this is in layers. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm just going to do like a quarter maybe of this, or even less if you want to. I'm just getting the bottom only all the way across. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same amount of pressure, but I'm going to go up a little bit higher. So I'm going to get like the bottom third. Okay. And what's going to happen is we're adding, it's almost like a dip dye. You're adding layers of ink each time. So the bottom is going to get darker and darker, and every layer sequentially is going to be lighter. So now I'm going to go up to half. Or even more, depending on how you want to do it. Oops, careful. Just want to try to get it basically even across the whole thing. Okay, and so what that's going to do, can you see, gives me that beautiful ombre look to the Celebrate. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm going to do my little macarons like I did before. So I'm just going to go around the outside. And then you can tilt this down like this and just get that edge. So you get that look right there. Okay, and we'll get this edge again. Just like so. That look good? I need to get this top edge just a little bit more. Sometimes it's hard to see it. Okay, there we go. All right, so that is the Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm gonna grab my silicone mat and we're gonna put these together. So I'm going to start with my macarons, and I'm just going to grab my tweezers. If you missed this before, you're going to add a little bit of glue in the top dumpling part of this macaroon piece, the filling, and I'm just moving the glue around so it'll attach. Because all we're going to see is this bottom little curve, this bottom little ruffle. So we're going to pop that in there as far as it'll go. It does have a stopping point. And then you're just going to add a little thin line of glue right, sorry, I'm going to try to make this where you can see it, right at the edge of that bottom piece. Do you see that? It's really fine. I don't want to add too much because I don't want it to squeeze out. Okay, so there's my macaroon. So do the same thing again. So we're just going to add like a dot of glue, okay? And then I move it around. You don't want it to squeeze out. It makes a mess. You don't need a lot of glue. This glue is so strong. It doesn't take much. All right, and then we're gonna add a little bit along that edge. Just like that. So there's our two macaroons ready to go. Okay, so let's put our cake together. So as always, we're gonna take this one and we're gonna add our adhesive. And I'm gonna add this to the top so that it is lined up with the table here. Make sure it's flat, just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with this chocolate piece that goes on top. Just add a little bit on my drops there, barely anything. A little bit up here. Line it up with the previous piece. All right, I'm gonna have to reload my thing. I don't think, well, you guys might be just being quiet. Sometimes that happens during layouts. I don't know why it gets quiet during layouts. I really don't. It's funny to me. I'm gonna just reload. I think I'm probably having a problem again. Okay, we're gonna add our two little layers of scallops here. let go, let go. It has me. It's totally stuck to me. Okay. We're going to put this on the bottom here, cover up any gapping, and then this will be parallel to that. We're going to add glue to just the bottom of our dollop. And once again, we're going to pop this up a little bit just to get up underneath there to push this under. All right. Now, with this one, I have these beautiful little pink candles in the Flirty Flamingo. And we also need 2 of the big bursts and 2 of the small bursts. Now, there are more than that because we're going to be using some of them elsewhere. So you only want those pieces. So we're going to start by putting these in 2 different positions. Remember, we want it to look different on each candle. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue here and then just move it around on the top there. So I want it to be really thin. And then we're going to add that to our dollop, our sparkle. Do the same thing with this one. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Stay. All right, then we're going to take these. We also want these to be going in different directions. So I usually try to figure out which way I want it to go first. Go this way with this one. So I'm going to put it in the center and then going down this long arm rather for this one. And I'll put that right on top like so. And then for this one, we want a different piece. That'll work. So I'm going to go in between these 2 basically, but I'm going to go a little bit down this one. That was more glue than I wanted. Okay. And we pop that on there. Just like that. Okay, once you have those little candle sandwiches, we're going to add them behind our cake. So I'm going to go ahead and they're basically coming out from behind the this dollop. So I'm just going to add a little bit here and pop that on like that. And then I figure out where I want that one to be. I usually like this one to be a little shorter than the previous one. I just think it looks good. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to add glue here and pop that on at a different angle. And there we have our cake done. Okay. So now that all that is ready to go, I'm just going to move these pieces out of the way a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to grab my first page. So our left side page. You're getting tired? Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. We're almost done. We're so close. So close. Okay. Alrighty. We are going to be adding this piece about here, this piece about here, and then this one we need to layer. So this is going to be the pool party on top of the early espresso. And then once you have your ribbon, unless you already have one, you're going to add a piece of ribbon to this as well. But before you do that, grab this piece, the bigger piece that we had from the very first card we did. We're going to actually add that right here. So right at the edge of the blue piece, we're going to add this. So I'm going to add glue to this. Again, it doesn't take a lot, just a handful of dots, and you're good to go. So we're just going to pop this right on the edge of the blue piece here. And then take your ribbon and put it across here. So let me show you. So this is what it's going to look like. I don't have it to show you. So when I get a piece, I'll add mine on. And then you're going to attach this one about 3/4 of an inch from the side and about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the pink piece. So about right there. Now, I'm not going to add mine. I'm going to just tack it. Tack it means I'm just going to put a little bit of glue so that it will sit there and not run off on me. And I can add my ribbon later. Okay, so I'm going to add these two pieces. I'm just going to flip these over. And I'm going to add my cake. So my cake is next only because I want to make sure I have room for the other pieces and everything looks good. So I think I'm going to put that there. And then the Celebrate will go across there. So I just want to make sure, yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so, and I also want to put this here. So this is going to be about 1/2 inch from the bottom of this pink paper and about 1/2 inch from this one. And then this one will go here, about 1/2 inch up from this piece. Like that, okay? And so then your cake, wherever you want that to be, just like that, then I can add the Celebrate. So for this, I'm gonna just pinch it here, put glue on it. Whoops, ooh, my glue piece is really sticky, hold on. Now you need to make cake. Now you're hungry for cake. I know, that's what everybody's been saying. It's funny how when you make stuff that is food related, it makes you hungry. Or makes you want to eat that thing, depending on what it is. You know, when I make a taco card, does that make y'all want tacos? Just curious. Or is it just a cake thing? Okay, so we're going to add our Celebrate here. Going across our cake. You can do it straight, you can do it at an angle. It's totally up to you. Just like that. All right. And then from our little thing of goodies, we've got some hearts. So we've got these beautiful gold hearts. I'm going to grab those. And then I have my embellishments here. I need the pink ones and the clear ones. So grab both of those. The pink ones are going to go all around this title part. So you can do it however you want. You can do it in any direction. So I'm just going to put those up there. Okay. So we're going to do like a large one. Whoops. Oh, 2 of them are sticking together. That is not good. Stay. There, and I think I'll do another large one over here, and then a small one. I want it up here, or do I want it down below? I'm trying to decide. I think I'll put it up here. And then another large one, or you might have a different version. So large and small on both sides, and then whatever you have left over, basically. And then we'll do a large there and a small there. Okay, so around your Celebrate, do that. And then right here, we're going to add our hearts. So I'm going to put, oops, I'm going to put my largest heart right about here. If it overlaps the other one a little bit, that's okay. Just don't do it too much, because you don't want it to interfere with any photos. So I'm just going to pop that on right here. And in my case, I'm going to have to pop it back off to put my ribbon on. If you want to wait and put these on later, by all means do so. Because it is a little bit hard to change that. I'm also going to put one here and one up here. This one I'm going to add with a glue dot, because I don't intend to take that back off. This one I'm gonna just tack down with a little bit of this because I think I can pull that back off pretty easily. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some of these gold or clear of the same embellishment. So I'm gonna do like a large right here, and we'll do a small up there, and a small right here. And then on this side, we'll do a large and a small. Just like that. So that first page is done. And then for this page, this is super fun. So one of the things I love about this page is the kind of tic-tac-toe feel of it. You could choose to put this somewhere else if you want it, but just keep in mind that once you get photos on this, like it's all gonna just look like chocolate rimmed, right? So you could totally leave this off as well. If you want 9 photos here instead, do that. If you want your, if you want this journaling spot to be somewhere else, do that. It's fine. I'm going to put it in the middle because I just like how it looked, but you can do that in any way you like. However, let's talk about placement. So I do have my journaling piece is going to go on one of the dark browns, which is the early espresso. And so I'm just going to pop that on here like this. This is going to have a ribbon that's going to go across it and a knot, which I just want run under and tie, and you have a knot. Easy peasy. However, since I don't have that ribbon again, I'm just going to go ahead and tack this down for right now. But before I do that, I've got to position everything. So I'm going to put the other 4 dark ones in there. So I've got my 5 spot like this, and then the light ones take up the cross section, right? Okay, so you end up with your 9 squares like this. So what I want to do is I just want to add about the same gap between all of these. And so I'm just going to kind of look at you can look at the design in the paper, whatever you need to figure out an approximation of how much space is between these. Again, if you need the PDF for this because you didn't purchase the kit, I do have that available. So just text me and I'll help you out with that. Okay. So we're going to add these on. I'm just making sure to get these basically lined up. I'm going to tack this one down. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, not much because it'll make it easier to pop it off later, so that I can add my ribbon on. And then I'm going to go to either side and add, these I'm adding on full. I usually don't press down hard until I know I have it exactly where I want it, just in case. This first one will give me a really good frame of reference of where I want everything. Okay. And then I'm going to go top to bottom here. Easy peasy, right? Probably chocolate. Oh, that's funny. You're talking about making cake. Okay. And then we're going to do these 4. So I'm just going to flip them all over and add my adhesive real quick. Super easy. Because now I have 2 squares to line those up with. So it makes it really easy. And what's nice is I have these paper strips that are also helping me line these up. So I should be able to get this pretty even. I'm actually going to rotate this around because it's just easier if I can get my head kind of over it. My nose. Okay. Ta-da! All right. And remember, we'll have this ribbon going here, and then I'll add the 2 macaroons on top of the ribbon. So the ribbon will be here with a little thing, and I'll add my 2 macaroons. So you can see that's what that'll look like. I will add those later, but before I can move on, I've got to add these. So we have 2 more of these big splats, and 2, these are actually the shiny parts on your candle, but they also look just really cool as like little areas. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to add some glue to this one, and I'm going to pop it up under this corner like so. This one I'm going to put under that corner, same thing. Just like that. And then these 2 I'm going to put on top, but I'm only adding glue to the center, and I'm putting the center kind of right at the edge of the paper, so I should still be able to tuck my photo up underneath that area. So I just liked adding a little bit more gold on here on this sheet. So I'm just going to add that. You can, of course, add glue to the other arms that are not going to be over the photo if you want to. That's fine too. But honestly, it'll stay with this. I don't really have to do that. Okay, and then we have our little embellishments here. I am going to be putting 2 of them here, but the other ones I can go ahead and lay down. So I'm going to put 1 here, and 1 there, and a small one with that. And then I'll just save the 2 that I'm going to put right here because I have my ribbon as well. So I'll just show you that page like that. And that's it. You guys, it's done. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Oh, whenever you want, Renee. I'm not going to be here until tomorrow evening though. So if you'll just bring it by, you know what? I'll text you. I'm not sure what time we're going to be back, to be honest. I think Andy wants to be back sooner rather than later, so I'll let you know. All right, thank you so much, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for sharing this wonderful chocolateness with me. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. God bless.